Chapter 197. The fourth sky of the ascended realm was a dividing line. Zhao Feng felt that the connection between the heaven-earth yuan qi and his acupuncture points had become stronger. Although Zhao Feng couldn't directly absorb the heaven-earth yuan qi, when he cultivated, his true force could connect with the heaven-earth yuan qi and increase his state of existence. As his true force was refined, some elements could be merged into it. Once a cultivator reached this level, they would have stepped into the legendary Xiantian realm. Once a cultivator reaches the ascended realm, they're no longer a simple cultivator. They're cultivators that chase after the peak of the Tao. Zhao Feng understood. In the world of the clans, being a cultivator was just a way of cultivation. Apart from being a cultivator, there were other ways of cultivation. For example, the Blood Corpse Protector had turned himself into a zombie, which was the Tao of corpses. The hooded figure in the Sky Cloud Forest controlled beasts and deadly beasts to attack the Guanjuan city, which was also a mysterious Tao. In the world of the clans, there were many different ways of cultivation. Amongst them, the martial cultivator was the most common, but it was also the cheapest. After reaching the fourth sky of the ascended realm, Zhao Feng cultivated and comprehended for 2 days. On one hand, he needed to consolidate his foundation. On the other hand, he needed to organize the skills in the dimension of his left eye. Among them, there were mortal-level top-notch cultivation techniques and even spirit-level cultivation techniques. Zhao Feng read a few of these skills to broaden his horizons. But his core was still the lightning inheritance. The so-called inheritance naturally included a comprehensive set of abilities, including attack, defense, movement techniques, secret techniques, and various other applications. Therefore, Zhao Feng didn't need to train in other skills. 2 days later, Zhao Feng let out a breath and he left the courtyard. Right at this moment, he felt a slight fluctuation of energy coming from the courtyard nearby. Lin Fan also broke through. Zhao Feng looked towards a certain direction. After reaching the fourth sky of the ascended realm, the connection between cultivators and the energy of heaven and earth had increased. This was especially obvious at the moment of breaking through. Lin Fan had just broken through, and many inner sect disciples nearby came to congratulate him. This included Princess Yunmengxiang, Su Ren and Xiao Sunday. Once an inner sect disciple's cultivation broke through to the fourth heaven, there was hope for them to become a true disciple and be ranked at the top among the disciples. Since Lin Fan had been in the sect for a long time, there were quite a number of disciples who came to congratulate him. Zhao Feng smiled and walked into Lin Fan's courtyard. In the hall. Congratulations senior brother Lin for breaking through to the fourth heavenly layer. I think you're not far from becoming a core disciple. Senior brother Lin is truly a dragon among men. In the future, when you achieve meteoric success, don't forget your brothers who have gone through thick and thin with you. There were a total of 10 inner sect disciples. Their tone was respectful and they were flattering him. Within the crowd, Yunmengxiang, Xiao Sun, Su Ren and the others had complicated expressions. In the past, Yunmengxiang and Xiao Sun didn't put Lin Fan in their eyes. After all, his talent was ordinary. But who would have thought that the floating crest trial would allow him to become a top inner disciple? Lin Fan was a little helpless as he dealt with all these people who came to congratulate and suck up to him. He had just broken through to the fourth celestial layer, so he needed to consolidate his cultivation. He didn't expect these people to come to congratulate him at the same time. When junior brother Zhao was breaking through, why didn't you disturb his peace? Lin Fan laughed coldly in his heart. Zhao Feng had broken through 2 days earlier than him, so no one had dared to disturb him. Even the head disciple, Yang Gan, had only come to take a look before leaving. In the current inner sect, Zhao Feng was a fiendish existence. He was a madman who trained the lightning wind palm and was extremely arrogant. Many core disciples had fallen to his hands. That day in the Central Division, Zhao Feng had humiliated the enforcement elder in front of everyone. Some of the inner disciples had heard about it. But unfortunately, Not many people in the clan could do anything to him. The head disciple was Zhao Feng's senior brother. In the entire clan, Zhao Feng's master was the first elder and was highly regarded by the latter. Thinking about Zhao Feng, Lin Fan felt complicated. Gratitude, respect, curiosity, senior brother Lin. A familiar voice sounded from outside the hall. Another visitor had come to Lin Fan's house. Some people didn't think much of it, but when they saw the figure, their hearts trembled. The newcomer was a one-eyed green-haired youth. The moment he entered the room, he gave off a strong visual impact. Yun Mengxiang and Xiao Sun's expressions changed. Junior brother Zhao. Lin Fan's face was filled with joy as he immediately stood up to greet him. Zhao Feng. Everyone's expressions changed and the atmosphere within the hall changed. These inner disciples instantly became cautious, but none of them dared to be slow as they greeted Zhao Feng with smiles. Zhao Feng's expression was calm as he nodded and greeted a few people he was familiar with. Some of the inner disciples were shocked. Although this junior brother Zhao looked fierce, his words weren't as scary as the rumors said. They all felt flattered that Zhao Feng would nod his head in response. It was said that this junior brother Zhao was extremely fierce and arrogant. He had kicked out a few core disciples that he didn't like in the trial. Junior brother Zhao was really impressive in the trial. Whoever he didn't like, he would kick them out. Ever since the Broken Moon clan was founded, I'm afraid there hasn't been a second person that has been able to break the record of the Floating Crest trial. The inner disciples immediately went up to fawn on him with respectful expressions. Some of them even hinted that they were willing to follow Zhao Feng in the future. If one had to ask who was the most difficult to offend in the Broken Moon clan, it would definitely be Zhao Feng. If they could follow Zhao Feng, wouldn't they be able to do whatever they wanted in the future? Zhao Feng had a weird expression as he shook his head. He didn't have any intentions of taking in a disciple. Junior brother Zhao, you've reached the fourth sky and your cultivation has stabilized. Are you going to challenge a core disciple? Lin Fan suddenly asked curiously. Challenge a core disciple. The expressions of some of the inner disciples tightened. Legacy disciples were the core disciples of the sect. They were different from ordinary inner sect disciples. I almost forgot about this if you didn't mention it. Zhao Feng rubbed his forehead. He suddenly remembered that he had promised First Elder that he would enter the top 5 of the core disciples and participate in the 3-clan party. Only by entering the top 5 would First Elder be able to nominate Zhao Feng to participate in the 3-clan party. This was the lowest requirement. After all, the 3-clan party represented the entire Broken Moon clan. Hearing that Zhao Feng was really going to challenge a core disciple, some of the inner disciples present became excited. During this period of time, the ranking of the true disciples had fluctuated several times. The main reason was because of the Floating Crest trial. This time's Floating Crest trial was not normal. All the disciples that came out of the trial had a huge increase in strength. Yang Gan, Bei Moi, Quan Chen and Ran Xiaoyuan had toppled the core disciple rankings half a month ago. Yang Gan had become the head disciple. Bei Moi had become the second core disciple. Quan Chen and Ran Xiaoyuan had become the 5th and 6th respectively. A few days ago, he had broken through to the 4th sky of the Ascended Realm and became the 10th core disciple. The entire inner clan was shaken by the disciples that came out of seclusion. Hearing this news, Zhao Feng couldn't help but click his tongue. He didn't realize that he was the butterfly that was flapping its wings. If it wasn't for him, there wouldn't have been a 100% success rate in the second stage. If it wasn't for him, the entire Sky Boundary Island wouldn't have turned into a world of ice and snow. That's right, there hasn't been such intense competition in the past few decades. Lin Fan sighed. By now, most of the disciples had come out of seclusion and most of them had fought. Logically speaking, the ranking of the direct disciples should be stabilizing soon. But many disciples realized that the core disciple rankings were far from stabilizing. This was because there was still a mad person who hadn't fought yet. That person was Zhao Feng. The first place of this time's trial and the one who had broken the record, Zhao Feng, hadn't fought yet. And now he was standing in front of them and challenging a core disciple couldn't be delayed. It was because of this that some of the inner disciples present were excited and impatient. If Zhao Feng fought, would the core disciple rankings change once again? But there were some who didn't care. They thought that Zhao Feng had come first because of luck. Furthermore, he didn't receive any inheritance in the trial, so he was much weaker than the older core disciples. Brother Zhao. A masculine voice came from outside the courtyard. A powerful aura pressed down on him. All the inner disciples felt as if they were suffocating. When they saw who it was, they were shocked. Yang Gan. Being the head disciple, Yang Gan was undoubtedly the leader of the new generation and the #1 inner disciple. The arrival of the head disciple and first elder's disciple made everyone feel flattered. However, no one would think that Yang Gan had come here because of them. Even he didn't have the right to do so. Brother Yang. Zhao Feng walked out of the hall. Brother Zhao, Master told me to tell you to get into the top 5 core disciples as soon as possible. Yang Gan said. Under normal circumstances, Yang Gan rarely went to look for Zhao Feng. Both of them were disciples of the great elder, but their relationship could only be said to be ordinary, neither good nor bad. Yang Gan was a perfectionist, and even if he disliked Zhao Feng, he wouldn't just stand by and do nothing if Zhao Feng was being bullied outside. However, this junior brother's performance had exceeded his expectations time and time again. Especially in the Floating Crest trial, junior brother Yang had come first, which made him feel uncomfortable and even jealous. Brother Yang, please tell Master that I've already reached the top 5 core disciples and that he doesn't need to worry. Zhao Feng smiled and said. He understood that his master was definitely preparing to nominate him for the 3-sect party and had the intention of rushing him. However, he had actually forgotten about this matter in the past few days. Hearing this, Yang Gan's eyebrows furrowed. Where did Brother Zhao get his confidence and arrogance from? He hasn't even done anything yet and he wants me to tell him that he's already succeeded. Isn't this the same as lying to Master? No. I must tell Master that Brother Zhao is too arrogant and needs to be taught a lesson. Don't worry, I'll tell Master what you said. Yang Gan smiled mischievously and turned to leave. This was what he was thinking and what he was planning to do. He had to teach this junior brother a lesson. This Yang Gan doesn't even give me face. No, I must get into the top 5 before he sees Master. Zhao Feng's expression tensed and his figure flashed. Shua. A crackling sound came from the air and only Zhao Feng's afterimage was left. What kind of movement skill was that? Everyone took in a cold breath. Chapter 198. Broken Moon Clan. Amidst the clouds, in a garden filled with the fragrance of flowers. Ha! Hua! An old-fashioned youth and 2 youths were fighting. For a moment, a strong gust of wind blew in all directions. Waves of light collided and shattered in the void. The shock waves they emitted were enough to shatter gold and iron. The old-fashioned youth was actually fighting 1 against 2. A layer of dark blue ripples surrounded his body and with every move he made, waves of dark blue ripples would arrive in an instant. The terrifying pressure was enough to make a normal ascended realm spit out blood. The Dark Water inheritance is indeed worthy of being one of the strongest inheritances of the Floating Crest Palace. Hai Yun Master sat cross-legged on a nearby stone stand with approval. The old-fashioned youth was Bei Moi and the other 2 youths were Quan Chen and Yuan Ji, both disciples of Hai Yun Master. Quan Chen, peak 4th sky of the Ascended Realm, ranked 5th amongst the core disciples and Hai Yun Master's 3rd disciple. Yuan Ji, ranked 3rd amongst the core disciples and Hai Yun Master's 2nd disciple. And at this moment, Quan Chen and Yuan Ji teamed up but couldn't beat the youngest Bei Moi. Bei Moi's cultivation had reached the limit of the 4th sky and his aura was perfect. He was able to fight his 2 senior brothers with ease. Quan Chen and Yuan Ji were both stunned. Ever since the floating crest trial, Baimuo's strength hadn't just increased by one level. The combined attack of the two was enough to shatter normal cultivators at the fourth sky, but it couldn't even break through Baimuo's defense. It was as if there was a bottomless whirlpool around Baimuo and all their attacks were like stones sinking into the ocean. Dark Water Mountain opening. Baimuo's hands waved and the dark blue ripple increased in size and pushed the two brothers back several yards. Yuan Ji floated back tens of steps before landing on the ground. Quan Chen was sent flying and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Thanks. The combined strength of the fifth and third core disciples wasn't enough to beat Baimuo. Not bad, not bad. You've improved a lot and in 2 years, no one in the Broken Moon clan will be able to fight against you. Hai Yun Master praised. Yuan Ji and Quan Chen stood on the side with shock. Quan Chen's heart was filled with hatred and helplessness. The reason why Baimuo had become so strong was because he had obtained an inheritance in the trial. Every time he thought of this, he would hate Zhao Feng. If it wasn't for this guy, he might have been able to obtain the inheritance. Don't just limit your vision to our sect. The 3-sect party half a month from now will be the time for you to show off your skills. At that time, you have to make me proud. Hai Yun Master smiled. 3-sect party. Quan Chen and Yuan Ji looked at each other uneasily. With Baimuo's strength, it wouldn't be a problem for him to participate in the 3-sect party. At this moment. This is bad, Elder. Someone is causing trouble in the outer sect. A servant hurried in. Quan Chen scolded, who dares to cause trouble in the Elder's residence? It's the first Elder's disciple, Zhao Feng. He led a group of people to search for senior brother Quan, and finally found this place. The servant panicked. Yuan Ji laughed, senior brother Quan, so that Zhao Feng is here to cause trouble for you. No matter how arrogant Zhao Feng was, he was still a disciple. How would he dare to cause trouble for the elder? This guy must be trying to challenge my core disciple position. Quan Chen's expression was cold, but he was a little scared. He was wary of Zhao Feng's strength. What's going on? Hai Yun Master said. I heard that Zhao Feng just came out of seclusion and wanted to challenge a core disciple. He first went to find senior brother Quan, but he wasn't home. Then he went to find senior brother Yuan Ji, but he didn't find him either. Then he went to find junior brother Bei. Okay. I understand now. In the end, he came to this elder. Hai Yun Master said. Elder. Elder is wise. The servant said with a trembling voice. At this moment, the atmosphere in the garden became extremely tense. The expressions of Yuan Ji and his two brothers were extremely ugly. It seemed like Zhao Feng was purposely challenging Hai Yun Master's disciples. Did he really think that Hai Yun Master and his disciples were pushovers? Preposterous. Quan Chen's face was filled with anger, but he was overjoyed in his heart. If it was just him alone, he probably wouldn't be able to take care of this person. But now, the three of them were together. Zhao Feng. You're unlucky today. The three of you can leave. Don't embarrass me. Hai Yun Master waved his hand. Although he was disgusted by Zhao Feng picking on his disciple, as an expert at the true spirit realm, he obviously wouldn't lower himself to interfere in the matters of the younger generation. Furthermore, First Elder stood behind Zhao Feng. Whether it was him or the Great Elder, they would not easily interfere in the competition between the disciples. Go! Get out! The three of them walked out of the Elder's residence in anger. Yuan Ji felt weird as he realized that the hatred his two brothers had for Zhao Feng wasn't just a little strong. There was indeed a group of people outside the residence. The one leading them was Zhao Feng. So, you're all hiding here? Zhao Feng said in surprise. After coming out of seclusion, he wanted to challenge the core disciples, so he would obviously target Hai Yun Master's disciples first. But the weird thing was that Quan Chen wasn't home, Yuan Ji wasn't home, and Bei Moi wasn't home either. After asking around, he found out that the three of them were hiding in Hai Yun Master's residence. What do you mean hiding? Quan Chen and the others were completely disgusted and furious. The few of them had been called over by their master to discuss and learn from each other. Those who didn't know the truth would think that they were scared of Zhao Feng and were hiding. Fight! Zhao Feng threw out a word before turning around and heading towards the stage. He wasn't worried that his opponents wouldn't come. Since they were already in front of the elder's residence, there was no way they wouldn't come. A while later. Central Division, Stage. This was a place specially made for inner disciples to spar. Zhao Feng's figure jumped and landed on the stage. On the challenge stage, there were two inner disciples who were fighting fiercely. Ah! The two saw the azure-haired one-eyed youth and his aura at the fourth sky of the ascended realm, which scared them so much that they left the stage. Soon. Another few auras at the fourth sky of the ascended realm and above landed on the stage. Quan Chen and the other two looked at each other, as if discussing who should go first. Among them, Quan Chen didn't dare to challenge first. How about this, the three of you come together? Zhao Feng said with a mischievous expression. Shut up. Don't be arrogant. Bei Moi and Quan Chen roared at the same time. Of course. Zhao Feng didn't really want to fight one against three. He wasn't that arrogant. Even if he was willing, Bei Moi and the other two wouldn't agree. Junior brother Quan, you go first and test his strength. Yuan Ji said in a low voice. Okay. Even if Quan Chen wasn't willing, he had to agree. On the stage. Zhao Feng and Quan Chen faced each other from afar. Many inner disciples had arrived after hearing the news. The two stared at each other with complicated expressions. This was especially so for Quan Chen. Back then when he went to the Guanjuan Palace, he was so arrogant. At that time, he didn't even look at Zhao Feng and he didn't even have an impression of him. But now, on the stage, Quan Chen's scalp went numb and he felt an inexplicable sense of wariness and fear. It wasn't as if Zhao Feng and Quan Chen hadn't fought before in the Floating Crest trial. At that time, Quan Chen didn't gain any advantage at all and was even tricked by the opponent. Zhe, brother Quan, do you want me to let you have a few moves first? Zhao Feng's eyes were sharp and he could see the fear in Quan Chen's eyes. There was no true battle intent. Piss off. Don't try to argue with me. Quan Chen roared and he infused his true force into his sword, sending a few chilling moonlight slashes towards Zhao Feng. A few marks appeared on the hard black rock of the stage. This was a rock from the clan world and it was even harder than low-grade mortal weapons. What a powerful attack. The disciples below the stage clicked their tongues. The weapon in Quan Chen's hand was a middle-grade mortal weapon and his cultivation technique was powerful enough. He didn't use his weapon when he fought against Bei Moi in the Elder's Palace. Believe it or not, I can defeat you with just the sharpness of the tongue. Zhao Feng laughed lightly. Shua. His figure flashed like lightning and he instantly dodged the attack. Don't be arrogant. Why don't you attack me if you have the ability? Quan Chen roared as his attack landed. Fine, I'll show you. Zhao Feng placed his hands behind his back and he took a deep breath. Bo. He opened his mouth and an invisible mental energy sound wave shot towards Quan Chen. Wherever the sound wave passed, it was like thunder. Boom. Quan Chen's body swayed as if he was struck by lightning and his blood boiled. That attack just then almost made him puke out blood. Zhao Feng's mental energy sound wave was a mental energy attack added to the vibration of the sound wave. One pierced the soul while the other attacked the blood and flesh of the physical body. After receiving the lightning inheritance, all of Zhao Feng's skills used it as the core. Even the psychic sound wave technique was like muffled thunder, its power far greater than before. Furthermore, Quan Chen wasn't someone with a strong mind. He was much weaker than Bei Moi and Lin Fan. Therefore, the first wave of sound waves almost made Quan Chen puke out blood and his body staggered a little. Bo! Bo! Zhao Feng spat out another 2 mental energy sound waves. Wah! Quan Chen puked out a mouthful of blood and his face turned white. The mental aspect had always been his weakness. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's mental energy sound wave attack was much stronger than when he was in the trial. After merging with the lightning inheritance, it was like adding wings to a tiger. How is this possible? Brother Zhao didn't even do anything. He only moved his mouth and made Brother Quan Chen puke out blood. The crowd was shocked speechless. Brother Quan, use your true force to protect your eardrums and weak spots. Yuan Ji reminded. He could see that Zhao Feng's mental energy sound wave attack used sound as a medium. If one's will isn't strong enough, even if they use their true force to protect themselves, they can only reduce the damage by 10 to 20%. Zhao Feng said casually. The mental energy sound wave attack was hard to defend against. It made one panic and lose control of their mind. Under this situation, how could one defend with all their strength? If it was someone with a strong will and cultivation, then the damage of Zhao Feng's mental energy sound wave attack would be reduced by at least half. But Quan Chen wasn't like that. In the depths of his heart, he feared Zhao Feng. Bo! 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 Zhao Feng spat out another sound wave attack. Plop! Quan Chen's nose and ears bled as he fainted. Too weak. Zhao Feng shook his head, but thinking about it, he did indeed have great talent in mental energy. Even the floating crest palace didn't have an inheritance that was suitable for him. The lightning inheritance was just the second best. Chapter 199. Brother Quan. Seeing Zhao Feng move his mouth and Quan Chen fall to the ground with a plop, the crowd went into an uproar. Many people took in a cold breath. At this moment, not only did Zhao Feng give them strength, he also gave them an unfathomable feeling. Too scary. He beat Brother Quan with just his mouth. How is this possible? Senior Brother Quan is ranked 5th among the true disciples. The inner disciples were shocked, but at the same time, they also had doubts. Some people even suspected that this was a play that had been put on in advance. This is Brother Zhao's strength? Lin Fan's heart shook. Yun Mengxiang, Xiao Sun and company were dazed as if they were in a dream. Back then, everyone had entered the Broken Moon clan together, but in just half a year, Lin Fan had grown to such a level. Princess Yun Mengxiang was filled with regret. Ever since Zhao Feng had chosen the path of martial arts and the lightning wind palm, she had given up on Zhao Feng's potential. But who would have thought that in just a few months, Lin Fan would become first elder's disciple and break the record? After beating Quan Chen, Zhao Feng was ranked 5th. This had already reached his goal. But today, Quan Chen and his 2 brothers were together, so there was no way this would end peacefully. Next. Zhao Feng's voice sounded as he made up his mind. At this moment, Yuan Ji had already helped Quan Chen off the stage. Under the guidance of his true force, the latter woke up and was fine. Let me. Bei Moi was about to attack. Let me go first. Yuan Ji stopped Bei Moi. He thought that Zhao Feng's strength was at least on the same level as Bei Moi, and he was even weirder. It would be best if he went first to test Zhao Feng's strength. His plan did not care about personal honor or disgrace, victory or defeat, but was aimed at the overall situation. Bei Moi was the strongest, so he had a higher chance of winning if he stayed until the end. On the stage, Zhao Feng and Yuan Ji faced each other. Yuan Ji's cultivation had reached the 5th sky, and he was stronger than Quan Chen in both strength and intelligence. He didn't attack rashly after going up. Pop! Zhao Feng opened his mouth, and a psychic sound beam shot toward Yuan Ji. Yuan Ji sneered, his true power protecting his body, especially targeting his eardrums. At the same time, his mind was firm and shrewd, not something Quan Chen could compare to. In addition, his cultivation level was higher than Zhao Feng's, so when the psychic sound wave hit him, the damage was reduced by 70% to 80%. Zhao Feng was not surprised. He was just testing the waters. His greatest potential treasure was the spiritual domain, but after all, he had not obtained the corresponding inheritance and cultivation technique. Wandering Heaven Steps. Yuan Ji's figure moved. His speed seemed slow, but it contained an intent of slowing down. Whoosh! Zhao Feng moved like a bolt of lightning. He was obviously faster than Yuan Ji, but Yuan Ji reacted slowly and was not afraid. Thunder Wind Palm. Zhao Feng wasted no time and executed his strongest cultivation technique. The force of his palm swept out with a howl of wind and thunder. Arcs of lightning revolved around the tornado. Boom! The two collided head-on. Yuan Ji's body froze and his expression changed as he retreated a few steps. The moment he clashed with Zhao Feng, his body felt numb, as if he had been struck by lightning. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's thunder wind palm's power was beyond his imagination. Every time he took a hit, Yuan Ji's body would go numb and the power of the palm made his blood boil. If it was Quan Chen, he probably wouldn't even be able to take 1 or 2 hits. Below the stage, Bei Mua's face was solemn. Zhao Feng's strength was much stronger than he had imagined. Thunder Wind Raging Dragon. The instant Zhao Feng's palm shot out, the azure wind and lightning intertwined to form a lightning dragon. In that instant, the wind and thunder rumbled as the palm destroyed everything in its path. Yuan Ji's body went numb and he couldn't dodge it. His breathing became heavy and he could only use all his strength to block it. Vibration Yuan Wave. The true power in Yuan Ji's palm congealed into a ball of light, exploding and producing a vibrating wave of light, intertwining with the terrifying Thunder Dragon tornado. Boom! The moment they clashed, the two's figures were enveloped by the wind and they couldn't be seen clearly. But one of the figures didn't move. His azure hair blew in the wind and he was as cold as a demon. The other figure retreated. How can he be so strong? This power is enough to kill normal cultivators at the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm. Yuan Ji's body was charred and cracked. Shua! Suddenly, a lightning-like figure appeared in front of Yuan Ji under the cover of the wind and thunder. What kind of footwork was that? How could he be so fast? Yuan Ji's heart shook and he wanted to dodge, but it was too late and he was sent flying by Zhao Feng's palm. Wah! Yuan Ji spat out a mouthful of blood in midair and he flew off the stage. In less than 10 moves, Yuan Ji, who was at the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm, was defeated. The spectators weren't just disciples, there were also other members of the clan. Next. Zhao Feng took a deep breath. Apart from his bloodline power and his left eye, he had used over 90% of his strength to defeat Yuan Ji. After defeating Yuan Ji, Zhao Feng was ranked 3rd amongst the core disciples. What terrifying strength! Even I'm tempted by the power of the lightning wind palm. Is this Zhao Feng going to defeat all of Hai Yun Master's disciples? Below the stage, the crowd discussed animatedly. Amongst the spectators was Vice Head Li of the Central Division. Vice Head, why is the power of the lightning wind palm so strong? A deacon was puzzled. This lightning wind palm has obviously been perfected and the profound lightning contained within it is even purer. No wonder First Elder was willing to take Zhao Feng as his core disciple. Light twinkled in Vice Head Li's eyes. No wonder. If it wasn't for this reason, First Elder wouldn't have taken another disciple who trained in the lightning wind palm. The deacon understood. To be able to perfect the lightning wind palm, this Zhao Feng's comprehension isn't ordinary. Could this be related to the trial? Vice Head Li murmured to himself. At this moment, only Zhao Feng was left on the stage. You rest first, we'll have a fair battle. Bei Mua said with a stiff expression. He could tell that Zhao Feng had used up quite a bit of energy to defeat Yuan Ji and the other two. Zhao Feng knew that Bai Moi wanted to have a fair battle with him and didn't want to take advantage of him. Such a scene shocked the nearby spectators. Bai Moi's confidence made them look forward to the next battle. A moment later, Zhao Feng recovered his energy and said, "All right, Bai Moi. We've agreed on this battle before we joined the sect." "That's right. We've agreed on this battle a long time ago and you're stronger than expected. You're definitely qualified to be my opponent." Bai Moi went up the stage. Hearing this, the crowd went into an uproar. Those who didn't know what was going on were confused. What's the relationship between Bai Moi and Zhao Feng? Only Yuan Ji and Quan Chen knew what was going on. At the same time, on a tall building at the peak of the mountain, Su Ran. How are you able to have two geniuses under your sect? Hai Yun Master murmured. On the stage, Zhao Feng and Bai Moi stared at each other with solemn expressions. Neither of them had any thoughts of underestimating the other. Bai Moi's figure flashed and a series of ripples appeared on the stage. In that instant, his real body merged with the ripples and it was hard to tell which was the real one. Without using his left eye, Zhao Feng couldn't tell which one was the real one. What a profound movement skill. Zhao Feng was impressed. Bai Moi was indeed worthy of being a super genius that had received an inheritance from the trial. Illusion Fish Shadowless Step. Zhao Feng's figure flashed and a series of illusions appeared to confuse the opponent's senses. In an instant, a series of afterimages overlapped on the stage, dazzling the audience's eyes. Illusion Fish Shadowless Step was a movement skill that Zhao Feng had created with the Illusion Fish picture as the core and many other movement skills. In reality, this movement skill was only the beginner version. The advanced version was called Illusion Fish Lightning Arc Step. However, Zhao Feng's understanding of the lightning inheritance wasn't enough and the Illusion Fish Lightning Arc Step hadn't been perfected yet. He had only used it a little when he defeated Yuan Ji. Zhao Feng couldn't reveal too much about the lightning inheritance, so he could only use the lightning wind palm as a cover. Northern Dark 4 Heavy Waves. The dark blue ripples were like heavy mountains that came crashing down. When tens of thousands of kilograms of water came crashing down, what kind of power would that be? Wind and lightning destruction. The whirlwind and lightning in Zhao Feng's palm intertwined with each other, creating a devouring power. Two powerful forces collided head-on. Boom! 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 Powerful shockwaves and electric arcs bombarded a radius of 10 zhang. That terrifying power was even at the level of the 6th celestial layer. What power! Some of the deacons below the stage were moved. Apart from the head disciple, no one in the inner disciples could fight against these two monsters. Wind Lightning Raging Dragon. Dark Water Mountain Splitting. Even more powerful moves clashed together, and within the shockwave, the two figures clashed back and forth. At a certain moment, the two figures flew 100 meters into the air and exchanged tens of blows. Zhao Feng's face was twisted as his azure hair danced in the wind. His lightning wind palm had been pushed to the peak of the 4th level, and he had even merged some lightning laws into it. However, Bai Moi's defense was unimaginable and the dark blue ripples around him absorbed the power of the attack as much as possible. Even someone as strong as Zhao Feng couldn't break through Bai Moi's defense, showing how monstrous the latter was. Water-related inheritance, good at defense, using softness to counter hardness. Zhao Feng estimated that if he didn't use his bloodline power, it would be hard for him to gain the upper hand. Of course, Bai Moi didn't feel good either. Every time he clashed with Zhao Feng, his body would feel numb, and as the numbness stacked on top of each other, it didn't feel good either. The battle between the two was becoming more and more intense. The two's true force was quickly being used up. After 100 moves, the two were panting and barely able to stand. From start to finish, Zhao Feng was suppressing Bai Moi, but he couldn't break through the latter's defense. This should be the best result, Zhao Feng thought. Okay, this battle ends in a draw. Vice Headley appeared and stopped the battle. The two were both peerless geniuses of the inner disciples, and he couldn't allow anything to happen to them. Draw. Yuan Ji let out a breath. If Zhao Feng won, it would mean that he had defeated all of Hai Yun Master's disciples. Bei Moi walked off the stage and looked deeply at Zhao Feng before leaving with his two senior brothers. That guy's attacks are so strong. The moment he returned to his room, Bei Moi's body trembled and blood leaked out of his mouth. Even if his defense was strong, he couldn't take Zhao Feng's crazy attacks. Chapter 200. When the battle ended, Zhao Feng couldn't even walk. His muscles were numb and his true force was empty. Attacking consumes more energy than defending. Furthermore, Bei Moi's cultivation has reached the peak of the fourth sky and his true force is thicker than mine. Zhao Feng's expression was solemn. This battle was definitely the most intense one he had ever fought in the Broken Moon clan. In the past battles, no one had been able to fight him to a draw. No wonder he's Bei Moi, the strongest genius of the Broken Moon clan. Zhao Feng sighed in his heart. If this continued, his true force would be used up and he could only admit defeat. Of course. From the beginning to the end, Zhao Feng didn't use his bloodline power and his usage of the lightning inheritance was also very subtle. If he used his bloodline power, the result would be obvious. However, Zhao Feng didn't do that, he would rather lose. A draw was the plan that Zhao Feng had thought of and it could be considered a low-key choice. But he didn't expect Bei Moi to be even more terrifying than he had imagined, the slightest mistake could cause him to lose. Zhao Feng. Vice Headley smiled faintly and walked over. His eyes were sharp and he could see that Zhao Feng had used up all his true force. Vice Headley, Zhao Feng smiled and greeted. This vice head had a good relationship with Old Man Zhang and Old Man Guan and he had taken care of him when he first entered the inner clan. Martial nephew Zhao, your lightning wind palm seems to have been improved. Vice Headley asked curiously. In Zhao Feng's hands, the lightning wind palm was obviously more refined and powerful than the original skill. That's right. After I improved the lightning wind palm, there's no danger before the 6th level. Zhao Feng didn't try to hide it. This means that there's still danger after training it to the highest level. Vice Headley was slightly disappointed. At his level, only if the lightning wind palm was trained to the highest level, the 6th level, would he truly be moved. Zhao Feng said, after all, at the highest realm, there's a chance to summon lightning from the 9 heavens, which can instantly kill anyone below the true spirit realm. Even those at the true spirit realm have to avoid it. With such great power, it's impossible for there to be no side effects. Vice Hall Master Li nodded upon hearing this. It was impossible to avoid such a perverted power. The biggest attraction of the lightning wind palm was this. Even those at half-step true spirit realm would be moved. Actually, there was one more point that Zhao Feng didn't mention. The lightning wind palm had been perfected by him, and on top of the 6th level, he had added a 7th level. The perfected 6th level couldn't summon the lightning of the 9 heavens, but it could communicate with the lightning energy in the world, causing its might to skyrocket. Although its power could not be compared to real lightning, the risk was minimized. Furthermore, the 7th level of the lightning wind palm involved the usage of the lightning intent. Once successful, one would be able to control the power of lightning and fighting against those at the true spirit realm would no longer be a dream. However, up until now, Zhao Feng's 7th level was still in the process of being perfected and he had only created a model. That's right, Vice Hall Master Li, there's something else I need your help with. Zhao Feng suddenly thought of something. What is it, Martial Nephew Zhao? Vice Hall Master Li was very courteous and brought Zhao Feng into the central hall for a detailed discussion. Normal disciples wouldn't receive such treatment. There's 2 main things. The first is that I want to give out a clan mission. Zhao Feng took out a pen and paper and wrote down some materials. These materials were the missing parts of the Yin shadow cloak. Although Zhao Feng could go find the materials himself, he had a lot of money and he could find someone else to do it for him. Many of the upper echelons of the sects would issue missions or send disciples to run errands if they wanted to find materials or items. Zhao Feng chose the method of giving out missions. Vice Hall Master Li picked up the list and glanced over it before saying emotionally, "The value of these materials isn't small. I know, it's estimated to be a few 100,000 substandard primal crystal stones." Zhao Feng didn't mind. The clan compensated him with 8,000 low-grade primal crystal stones, which was equivalent to 800,000 substandard primal crystal stones. In the lower echelons of the clan, the main currency was substandard primal crystal stones. Only some high-class places would use low-grade primal crystal stones, which were equivalent to hundreds of substandard primal crystal stones. "Alright, since you don't lack primal crystal stones, I can give out this mission for you." Vice Hall Master Li was very straightforward. To give out missions, Zhao Feng had to spend some primal crystal stones and contribution points. This was the commission for completing the mission and no one was willing to do it for free. Next. The second thing Zhao Feng mentioned was that he had to make a trip home. Half a month? Vice Hall Master Li frowned. This was a bit long. Most sects were stricter with their disciples. It was good enough for normal disciples to take a few days off. Half a month was a bit long. This disciple is thinking of taking a normal mission near Guangzhou Province City and making a trip home. Zhao Feng had already thought about it. Taking half a month off was indeed a bit long. But if he went out in the name of taking a mission, the time limit would be different. Guangzhou Province City. There's a mission nearby, but it's a high-level one, reaching level 5. Vice Hall Master Li said. Level 5 missions usually required cultivators at the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm to take part. Zhao Feng looked at the details of the mission. It was to go to the depths of the Sky Cloud Forest and find traces of a clan from outside the country. Outside the country meant that they weren't from this country. If this range was expanded, it might not even be from the 13 clans. After all, the continent was too big and there were tens of thousands of clans in the northern continent alone. Who knew where this clan came from? Mission requirement: find out where this clan came from and assess their battle strength. It would be best if you could find out their intentions. No problem. Gathering information is my forte. Zhao Feng confidently accepted the mission. With his left eye, he was a natural-born scout. Furthermore, Zhao Feng had obtained an inheritance treasure, the Yin Shadow Cloak. The Yin Shadow Cloak could hide one's aura and even make them invisible, making it suitable for gathering information. After accepting the mission, Zhao Feng said goodbye to Vice Hall Master Li and went to the Elder's residence to find First Elder. First Elder and Yang Gan were both there. Amongst them, Yang Gan had reported Zhao Feng to First Elder not long ago. "Zhao Feng, have you completed the mission I gave you?" The Great Elder said with a smile. "I've completed it." Zhao Feng then told the story of how he challenged the core disciples. Hearing this, Yang Gan's expression changed. He didn't think that Zhao Feng would have already challenged 3 core disciples in such a short amount of time and almost defeated all of Hai Yun Master's disciples. "Zhao Feng, do you have enmity with Hai Yun Master?" First Elder was slightly surprised. "Master, there's a bit of enmity between us." Zhao Feng then told him about Lord Guanjuan and Su Ran. This wasn't a big secret. Zhao Feng had wanted to tell First Elder long ago so that he could protect Lord Guanjuan who was outside the clan. "I see, I've also heard about this back then. At that time, Hai Yun Master was young and arrogant, offending many people. But I hope that you can put the overall situation of the sect above all else. Don't let the hatred and conflict worsen," First Elder said solemnly. "Don't worry, Master, I'm not here for revenge. Disciple only has one goal and that is to surpass Hai Yun Master and take revenge for Master Su Ran. That's all." Zhao Feng directly said his goal. First elder said deeply, "If that's all, I won't object." He was happy that this disciple of his was someone who cared about others and he admired this. If Zhao Feng could really reach that step, he would be overjoyed. Disciple is worried that Hai Yun Master won't let disciple grow and it might affect Master Su Ran and the others. Zhao Feng said his worries. "Don't worry, with me here, Hai Yun Master won't dare to do anything to you or the people around you. This is a taboo of the clan." A light flashed in First Elder's eyes. "But I can't interfere in the competition between the younger generation," First Elder added. Zhao Feng nodded his head. This was a matter of principle. Elders wouldn't interfere in the matters of the younger generation. Just like today, Zhao Feng had challenged 3 of Hai Yun Master's disciples and almost swept all of them, but Hai Yun Master wouldn't interfere, he would just laugh. With First Elder's guarantee, Hai Yun Master couldn't do anything to Zhao Feng or the people around him. This way, Zhao Feng wouldn't have anything to worry about anymore. Hai Yun Master's goal is to use Bei Moi to control me. But he doesn't know that Bei Moi isn't my match in terms of strength. Zhao Feng thought in his heart. The reason why he didn't defeat Bei Moi was because he wanted to use Bei Moi as a whetstone for him. While Zhao Feng was growing, Bei Moi was also growing rapidly. Furthermore, both of them had the inheritance of the Floating Crest Palace. How could he not use such a good whetstone to achieve Hai Yun Master's goal of balance? Before leaving, First Elder reminded, "You need to come back in time for the 3-clan party in half a month." Now that Zhao Feng had entered the top 3, there was no more suspense in the 3-clan party with Bei Moi. After saying goodbye to First Elder, Zhao Feng returned to his place and put some items into his interspatial bracelet. The second day, Zhao Feng left the Broken Moon clan by himself. When he left, he found that Yang Qingshan and Nan Gongfan had both broken through to the Ascended Realm and reported to the Central Division that they were about to become inner disciples. Zhao Feng nodded his head in his heart. Becoming an inner disciple meant that the clan would focus on nurturing them. On the day that Zhao Feng left, the upper echelon of the Broken Moon clan, the clan master and several elders gathered together. The Lin Moon clan has sent another invitation. Each clan only has 3 spots for this 3-clan party. The Broken Moon clan master said with furrowed eyebrows. In the past, there were 4 to 5. Why are there so few this year? Hai Yun Master was slightly surprised. Apparently, the geniuses of the Lin Moon clan and Silver Moon clan are extremely strong this time. One person from each of the 2 great sects obtained the inheritance during the trial. The Broken Moon clan master continued. The expressions of the elders became solemn. They didn't think that both the Lin Moon clan and Silver Moon clan would receive an inheritance. In the past, only 1 or 2 disciples would receive an inheritance every 100 years and the inheritance wasn't necessarily strong. But this time, each of the 3 sects had a disciple who had obtained the legacy. The competition was not just ordinary. Chapter 201. Sun Feather City. As the sun set, some families in the city had already lit up their oil lamps. At this time, many sellers had packed up and left the city. At the city gate, a green-haired, evil-looking youth walked into the city with a dark gray cloak fluttering in the wind. If it was daytime, the young man's outfit would definitely attract attention. But now that it was night, the young man's figure seemed to be a bit dim. Sun Feather City hasn't changed much in the past year. Zhao Feng murmured. Not many people in Sun Feather City recognized him. Compared to a year ago, Zhao Feng's figure was even taller. Whether it was his clothes or his demeanor, he was like a completely different person. As he got closer to the Zhao clan's territory, the number of people increased. Why are there so many people in front of the Zhao clan's gate? Zhao Feng had a strange expression on his face. Normally, as one of the 3 major families in Sun Feather City, the Zhao clan's gate was very quiet. Most of the people were young men. This year's Genius Summit doesn't seem to be as good as the last one. Xin Wuheng and Xiao Feng, the two top geniuses, have left Sun Feather City. Those two are legendary figures. This year's Genius Summit was started by the top genius of the Zhao family, Zhao Linlong. I'm afraid that no one in the younger generation of Sun Feather City can compete with Zhao Linlong. That's hard to say. The young genius of the Xin family, Xin Fei, has been improving day by day. He might not be any weaker than Zhao Linlong. There were many people at the gate of the Zhao clan because of this year's Genius Summit. However, only a small number of people were able to enter the Zhao clan to watch the Genius Summit. Some of them wanted to sneak into the Zhao clan to watch the Genius Summit. However, most of them failed. But there were also a few people who were good at movement techniques that managed to sneak in. After all, the Zhao clan wasn't a restricted area of the Imperial Palace. Genius Summit. Zhao Feng calculated the time. The Genius Summit of Sun Feather City was held once a year, and it was around this time. Furthermore, the host of the Genius Summit would rotate among the three major clans. The performance of the Zhao clan's geniuses in the last Genius Summit was incomparably dazzling. Zhao Feng, Zhao Linlong, and Zhao Yufei were among the top three geniuses. Back mountain of the Zhao clan. In front of a brightly lit man-made lake, there were several pavilions and spectator stands. At this moment, the two youths stood together on the shore, their saber winds crisscrossing. From time to time, shouts could be heard from the nearby pavilions and spectator stands. Those who could participate in the Genius Summit were at least at the fourth stage of the martial path, and their battle would cause quite a commotion. There were also a few elders from the three major clans who had reached the seventh stage of the martial path. In the pavilion at the front sat several geniuses from the Zhao clan. Zhao Linlong, Zhao Feng, Zhao Qin, and Zhao Han were all there. Brother Linlong, I'm afraid no one can compete with you in this Genius Summit. Zhao Qin said with a smile. Xin Fei from the Xin family and Qiu Mengyu from the Qiu family are both much stronger than before. Especially Xin Fei, although he hasn't reached the 6th rank of the martial path, his battle strength is quite strong. Zhao Linlong sat in the middle, looking much more mature than before. After the tempering of the previous Genius Summit, Zhao Linlong's personality had become more mature. He was the organizer of this year's Genius Summit. He didn't underestimate any of the battles on the stage. After some of the sparring ended, he would even give a comment or two, and each comment would hit the nail on the head, causing the crowd to admire him. As time passed, the Genius Summit became more and more exciting. Towards the end, the two geniuses of the previous Genius Summit, Zhao Linlong and Qiu Mengyu, appeared. When the geniuses of the previous Genius Summit made their moves, the ordinary geniuses all retreated. But there was one exception, the scarred youth from the Xin family, Xin Fei. Xin Fei's blade skills were sharp and had a unique style. He had even trained a high-ranked blade skill to the max level. There was basically no one who could last more than 3 moves against him. Why do I feel like this Genius Summit is a little boring? Zhao Qi, Zhao Qin, and the others looked at each other. There were 5 geniuses of the previous Genius Summit, but 3 of them left. This Genius Summit is destined to be incomparable to the previous one. Zhao Qin sighed. Everyone who had participated in the previous Genius Summit had the same feeling. Not only were there very few geniuses at this Genius Summit, there weren't many twists and turns. Thinking back to the previous Genius Summit, there were so many twists and turns. Only Zhao Linlong, Qiu Mengyu and Xin Fei were able to stand out this time. Amongst them, the older geniuses, Zhao Linlong and Qiu Mengyu, were ranked last in the previous Genius Summit. Finally, the Genius Summit reached its climax. Zhao Linlong, Qiu Mengyu and Xin Fei began to compete for the top spots. Only these 3 had the right to be listed as one of the Genius Summit. The others weren't on the same level. Qiu Mengyu and Xin Fei first exchanged blows. The former was the top beauty of Sun Feather City, and her cultivation had recently reached the 6th rank of the martial path. Xian Fei's cultivation had reached the peak 5th rank of the martial path, and his battle strength was shocking. Every slash was unique, as if it had been polished by time. This Xian Fei seems to have been influenced by Xian Wuheng. There's something unique about his blade skills. Zhao Qi furrowed his eyebrows as he fell into deep thought. At his current level, he couldn't even touch the level of intent. Intent was one of the most important factors in reaching the holy martial path and learning holy martial arts. Back then, Xian Wuheng and Zhao Feng both had such things on them. Cloud slash. Xian Fei shouted, the energy of the blade faintly pulsated, like a rainbow blade, it cut through the clouds. Puchi. Qiu Mengyu's inner force protection shattered and a strand of her hair was cut off. It was obvious that Xian Fei hadn't used his full strength yet. No one had thought that Xian Fei would be able to beat Qiu Mengyu so quickly. Next, it was time for the final battle, the clash between Xian Fei and Zhao Linlong. The battle between the two was intense and the two figures intertwined. In the end, the two landed on the surface of the lake and continued to exchange blows. The crowd was speechless as they watched. Meow meow. A weird cat's cry came from the Zhao clan's pavilion. Zhao Qi and the others, who had been paying full attention to the situation, turned around and their expressions changed. Who was it? At some unknown time, a one-eyed youth with blue hair had appeared in the Zhao family's pavilion. On his shoulder sat a palm-sized gray cat. The young man had appeared behind them without a sound. If it wasn't for the cat, they wouldn't have noticed him at all. Zhao Qi, Zhao Qin, it's only been a year and you don't recognize me? The azure-haired young man chuckled. You're Zhao Feng. Zhao Qi and the others were shocked as they finally recognized the young man. Zhao Feng. He's Zhao Feng. The commotion in the Zhao clan's pavilion alerted the spectators nearby. Soon, more and more people recognized the green-haired, one-eyed, evil-looking youth. How did Zhao Feng become like this? He's blind in one eye and his hair has turned azure. Everyone was shocked. At this moment, the battle on the lake finally came to an end. Zhao Linlong and Xian Fei took a head-on blow and both spat out blood. A deep cut appeared on Zhao Linlong's shoulder and he fell into the lake. Thank you. Xian Fei floated back to the lakeshore, with the gaze of a wind and cloud king, he swept his gaze across the entire crowd. Zhao Linlong's face was dim as he returned to the pavilion. Suddenly, Zhao Linlong's eyes landed on the azure-haired young man in the pavilion. Zhao Feng. I can't believe you're here. Xian Fei's eyes flashed and his body was filled with battle intent. Everyone's eyes were on the azure-haired young man. He's back. Some of the upper echelons of the Zhao clan couldn't help but exclaim. In the pavilion, Zhao Linlong had a complicated expression and his voice was a bit hoarse. Zhao Feng, you've come back at the right time to win for the Zhao clan. Zhao Feng, I'm lacking a real opponent. Xian Fei challenged Zhao Feng. No need, I'm just here to have a look. Zhao Feng smiled faintly and rejected the challenge. Wouldn't he be bullying the weak if he came to the summit at his level? Although Zhao Feng was younger than most of the youths here. Reject the challenge? Only Zhao Linlong realized that Zhao Feng's aura was immeasurably deep. Zhao Feng's strength probably exceeded his level and he didn't want to fight him. Tang, just as Xian Fei was about to speak, a few figures appeared from afar. Ha ha ha. Sun Feather City's summit is only a so-so. The three youths entered the venue of the summit. The one in the middle was a youth in a black robe who had reached the peak 6th rank of the martial path. The two youths beside him had also reached the 6th rank. Who's there? The crowd exclaimed. Not good. These three are the geniuses of Maplewood City. The one leading them is called Yu Tianhua. I heard that he's unrivaled amongst the younger generation in several small cities. Zhao Linlong exclaimed. Half a month ago, he had fought with Yu Tianhua and was defeated within 10 moves. Yu Tianhua. Some of the youths here had heard of this name before. Sun Feather City, send out your strongest genius to fight with me. Yu Tianhua's cold eyes scanned the crowd. Xin Fei sneered and stepped forward. Yu Tianhua smiled in disdain and waved his palms. A black light broke out from his body and gave off a tyrannical aura. Zhao Feng found that Yu Tianhua's skill was a bit demonic. He guessed that this person should be cultivating an incomplete half-holy skill. Pa! The two exchanged a few moves and Xin Fei was sent flying with a palm and spat out blood. How is this possible? You're not at the 6th rank of the martial path. Xin Fei's face was pale white and filled with shock. Ha ha ha. That's right. You have good eyes. Yu Tianhua let out a wild laugh. A black inner strength was suddenly released, forming a strange aura. 7th rank of the martial path. Everyone was shocked and felt a suffocating pressure. Even the elders of the several clans in the spectator stands were shocked. From the strength he had displayed, even the elders of the Zhao clan might not be his match. Who else can fight with the geniuses of Sun Feather City? How about this, your 3 strongest geniuses can come at me together. Yu Tianhua and the other 2 stood in the middle of the venue and laughed. At this moment, the geniuses of the 3 families of Sun Feather City had ugly expressions. These people were here to cause trouble and crush the geniuses of Sun Feather City under their feet. Chapter 202. At the venue of the summit, Yu Tianhua and the other 2 laughed wantonly. Their expressions were arrogant and condescending. The geniuses of the 3 families cursed out loud. The elders on the spectator stand wanted to take action, but they didn't know what to do. They were the elders after all. Even if they kicked them out, it would bring shame to the 3 families. Everyone attack. The youths were enraged to the extreme and finally exploded, pouncing towards Yu Tianhua and the other 2. Peng! 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 However, before they could even get close, they were sent flying by Yu Tianhua's inner strength. When one reached the 7th stage of the martial path, one's inner force could pierce through the air and injure others. It was a level higher than a martial artist. Ha ha ha. The geniuses of Sun Feather City are only so. Trying to bully them with numbers. Yu Tianhua, will take you all on. Yu Tianhua became more arrogant as he fought, his aura becoming stronger. Most of the youths were of the 4th or 5th rank, so they couldn't even get close to him. In just a short while, 10 of them couldn't even stand up. Zhao Linlong and the others clenched their teeth and prepared to take action. You guys aren't his match, let me. Zhao Feng sighed. Under this situation, the elders of the Zhao clan couldn't take action. Furthermore, with Yu Tianhua's strength, most elders of the 7th rank wouldn't be his match. Seeing Zhao Feng take action, the eyes of Zhao Linlong and the others lit up. Zhao Feng was the top genius of the last Bright Moon sect. He had entered the Guanjuan Palace a year ago and was said to be the disciple of the legendary Lord Guanjuan. His story was a legend in Sun Feather City. Who's that? It's Zhao Feng. The top genius of the last Bright Moon sect, he should be able to take on Yu Tianhua. Many people recognized Zhao Feng. Brother Zhao, this guy has the strength of a martial master, he's very strong. Xin Fei wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and reminded. Yu Tianhua and company noticed Zhao Feng. It was a young man with azure hair and a single eye. He was indifferent and calm, and the aura he emanated was unfathomable. He was like the ruler of the night. Yu Tianhua's smile disappeared. He stared at Zhao Feng and actually put away his arrogance and contempt. Even he couldn't see through the youth in front of him, but the other party's every move vaguely gave him pressure. He had only felt a similar feeling from the mysterious teacher who had taught him martial arts. Moreover, Zhao Feng's gaze was sharp and powerful, as if it could see through one's soul. Just his gaze alone was enough to give others pressure. Ha ha ha. One-eyed dragon. Kid. Your get-up is more like scaring little kids. Why are you pretending to be a one-eyed bandit? The two people beside Yu Tianhua raised their heads and laughed. Although Zhao Feng was wearing an eye patch, he did not look ferocious. Coupled with his tall stature and elegant blue hair, there was a tinge of evilness and elegance in his indifference. 3 idiots. I'll give you a chance. Get out of the Zhao clan before I count to 10. Zhao Feng's eyes were filled with coldness and murderous intent. Suddenly, his azure hair danced in the air even though there was no wind. Everyone was shocked and their gazes were all attracted by Zhao Feng. This is the aura. Zhao Feng, who was in the Zhao clan's pavilion, caught the subtle change. It turned out that every move of Zhao Feng naturally contained the intent of the wind. A year ago at the summit, Zhao Feng and Xian Wuheng had a similar feeling. An expert. This was the aura of an expert. Yu Tianhua and the other two felt a strong visual impact and were almost stunned. 10. 9. 8. Zhao Feng started to count down. The geniuses of the 3 clans held their breaths as excitement appeared on their faces. At this moment, Zhao Feng's domineering aura seemed to be suppressing his opponent. At the very least, in terms of momentum, he was suppressing his opponent. So cool. Why does he have such beautiful hair? I want to dye my hair too. The hearts of some of the girls were beating fast. Especially Zhao Feng's azure hair, the color was pure like bamboo, giving off a sense of spirituality. Even the most beautiful girl of Sun Feather City, Qiu Mengyu, was a bit envious and curious. He's a boy, how can he have such beautiful hair? I remember this guy had black hair before. 8. 7. 6. Zhao Feng's gaze was like a blade as he stared at Yu Tianhua and the other two. Kid, don't be arrogant. Yu Tianhua looked fierce but he was weak inside. To be honest, he was shocked by Zhao Feng's aura. But he was unwilling to leave just like that. To think that he, Yu Tianhua, had swept away the geniuses of the surrounding cities. How glorious was that? How could he yield in front of this kid? However, as soon as Yu Tianhua opened his mouth, the situation changed. Zhao Feng's voice came to a halt. Shua. With a flash, Zhao Feng appeared next to the 3. Without saying anything, he raised his leg and kicked. What's going on? He didn't finish counting to 10. Everyone was shocked. Yu Tianhua and the other two were caught off guard. Pang! Zhao Feng kicked one of the geniuses of the 6th rank of the martial path. Plop! The youth screamed as he fell into the lake. Then, Zhao Feng raised his leg and kicked another person. Don't even think about it. The youth circulated his inner strength and tried to resist. Pang! All of his efforts were in vain. He could only watch helplessly as he was kicked away and fell into the lake. In the blink of an eye, 2 geniuses of the 6th rank of the martial path were kicked into the lake without any ability to resist. This kid is weird. Yu Tianhua cursed. When Zhao Feng attacked, there was an indescribable intent. Even if he could see his movements, he couldn't dodge it. Yu Tianhua had only felt this level from his teacher. Could it be that this kid had reached the level of the martial Dao Saint realm? He was shocked as he circulated his inner strength to protect himself. However, his demonic Dao inner strength couldn't hinder Zhao Feng in the slightest. His opponent's body was flowing with a green light that was a level higher than inner strength. It suppressed his inner strength and made it hard for him to move. Not good. This is true force. True force that only a holy martial path expert can possess. Stop! Yu Tianhua shouted in surprise. Why? Zhao Feng's foot stopped in front of his chest and he smiled. You didn't finish counting to 10. You're going back on your words. Yu Tianhua said incoherently. Pang. Zhao Feng kicked him into the lake and sneered, I can count to 10, but that's only if you cooperate obediently. If you dare to be rude, I'll make you regret it for the rest of your lives. In a short while, the three were all kicked into the lake. The geniuses of the three clans were dumbfounded. A master of the 7th rank of the martial path was kicked away by Zhao Feng. Some of the elders behind him were shocked and speechless. Someone, bring them up. Zhao Feng ordered. Soon, some youths brought the three back to the shore. Yu Tianhua and the other two had been kicked by Zhao Feng. Their limbs were numb and they didn't even have the strength to walk. The three of you dare to come to the Zhao clan's territory. I'll give you one last chance. Kneel down and apologize. Zhao Feng looked down at the three. Impossible. Yu Tianhua snickered coldly, my master is a holy realm expert. If you dare to touch a hair of mine, the Zhao family will have no place in the Cloud Country. He admitted that he wasn't Zhao Feng's match, but it was impossible for him to kneel down and apologize. Holy martial path expert. The expressions of some of the elders of the three clans changed drastically. Hee hee. How arrogant. It looks like you don't know who the true ruler of the Cloud Country is. Zhao Feng chuckled. Hearing this, Yu Tianhua's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Zhao Feng could also reach that level? Since you're so arrogant, don't blame me for crippling your cultivation. Zhao Feng raised his palm and slapped Yu Tianhua. Crack. The meridians in Yu Tianhua's body were broken inch by inch. Then, the inner strength in his body was wiped out. No. Yu Tianhua screamed. He wanted to beg, but it was too late. Zhao Feng had only used a bit of true force to wipe out all the inner strength in his body, destroying his meridians and dantian. In the blink of an eye, Yu Tianhua had become a cripple. The crowd could only feel a chill penetrating their bones. Qiu Mengyu, the most beautiful girl of Sun Feather City, suddenly remembered how she used her beauty to seduce Zhao Feng. Thinking about it now, she was scared. Spare us. Sir, please spare us. We admit our defeat and apologize to the Zhao clan. The other two were scared out of their wits and kowtowed. Piss off. I gave you 2 chances but you didn't take it. If you disobey again. Yes, yes. The 2 youths of the 6th rank carried Yu Tianhua out of the Zhao clan. After leaving the Zhao clan's territory, Yu Tianhua bit his lips and said with hatred, Zhao Feng. Just you wait. Teacher won't let you go. Before, the 3 didn't dare to speak. Yu Tianhua was even more worried that if he opened his mouth, it would give Zhao Feng an excuse to kill him. Back mountain of the Zhao clan. The accident at the summit was settled by Zhao Feng. At the summit, the geniuses of Sun Feather City looked at the legendary youth from last year's summit with admiration, respect, and fear. The summit came to an end. Zhao Feng didn't participate in the summit, but his appearance made all the other geniuses dim. That night, in the main hall of the Zhao clan, the family head and a few elders welcomed Zhao Feng. In the banquet, Zhao Linlong and the others were lucky enough to join. Seeing Zhao Feng being respected by the family head and the elders, they felt complicated. The family head, Zhao Tiansong, was nervous. Thinking of how he had treated Zhao Feng in the past, Zhao Tsangtian felt uneasy. With Zhao Feng's current strength, it was easy for him to deal with the head of the Zhao family. Fortunately, Elder Zhao Yusong had a good relationship with Zhao Feng, and they often talked and laughed. Zhao Yusong had discovered Zhao Feng in the family martial gathering and had helped him many times since then. Zhao Feng obviously wouldn't forget his kindness, so he secretly gave Zhao Yusong a few marrow cleansing pills, as well as some half-mortal rank or peak rank mortal cultivation techniques. These things weren't worth mentioning to Zhao Feng, but they were priceless treasures to those outside the sections. Zhao Yusong was grateful for his foresight back then. I heard that Yu Tianhua has a sacred realm expert behind him. If Feng Er destroys his cultivation, I'm afraid, the patriarch and several elders felt uneasy and worried about this. A sacred realm expert? I'd like to see him. Zhao Feng sneered. At the level of the clan head and the others, they still didn't know that in the Cloud Nation, there was an existence that was above all. At the end of the banquet, Zhao Feng suddenly remembered something. You mean Zhao Yufei? Chapter 203. Zhao Feng had only asked casually, but he didn't think that the upper echelons of the Zhao clan would actually know where Zhao Yufei was. That year in the Guanjuan Palace, Quan Chen had personally fought with Lord Guanjuan. The scene was chaotic, and after that, Zhao Yufei had disappeared. But Zhao Feng had used his left eye to look at the city and confirmed that Zhao Yufei had been taken away by her grandfather, so he didn't pursue the matter. Zhao Tiansang said, if you had come half a month earlier, you would have met her. Half a month ago? Zhao Feng was slightly shocked. Does that mean that Zhao Yufei had come back? When Sister Yufei came back, everyone was stunned. She was like a goddess, even the most beautiful Chiu Mengyu of Sun Feather City was overshadowed. Zhao Linlong and the other juniors sighed. Thinking back to the scene, everyone was shocked. The elders and the head of the family were full of respect. Oh! What shocking things did Yufei do at that time? Zhao Feng asked curiously. Zhao Tiansang immediately explained what had happened. It had happened half a month ago. Zhao Yufei had returned to the Zhao clan, but she was only passing by. After a year, Zhao Yufei returned to Sun Feather City. She was as beautiful as a fairy, stunning the mortal world. A year ago, she was already as pretty as the prettiest girl in the Sun Feather Peak, Chiu Mengyu. But after a year, she had completely transformed into a fairy. At that time, the young master of the Xian family had been taught a lesson because of her beauty. After that, the elders of the Chiu and Xian family came to ask for her hand in marriage, but they were easily defeated by her. Zhao Yusong exclaimed. Half a month ago, Zhao Yufei's performance was too shocking. Of course, only a few people knew about this. After that, the Chiu and Xian family became even more secretive towards the Zhao family. I see. After listening, Zhao Feng already had a guess in his heart. Only by advancing to the transcending mortality stage would one be able to be reborn. Moreover, Zhao Yufei was currently in the 18 changes period of a young girl. If he wasn't wrong, Zhao Yufei must have joined another sect. After all, there were 13 sects in the 13 countries of the Sky Cloud Forest. For the next couple of days, Zhao Feng stayed at the Zhao clan to accompany his parents. He also taught Zhao Linlong, Zhao Qi, and the others martial arts. Even the patriarch and several elders humbly came to consult Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng was not stingy with his teachings. After all, he had grown up here. On the third day, bad news came from the Zhao clan. Yu Tianhua's mysterious teacher, that reclusive Saint Realm Master, has already arrived at Sun Feather City. Zhao Tsangtian, the master of the family, came over in panic. Zhao Feng said calmly, "What's there to panic about? What's there to let these people come?" The true power of the Cloud Country was the Broken Moon clan. For Zhao Feng, this was his territory. Even if the opponent's cultivation was higher than his, they would have to think twice. Furthermore, from Yu Tianhua's skills, Zhao Feng could tell that the opponent wasn't very strong. On the fourth day, news came from the upper echelon of the Zhao clan. Yu Tianhua's mysterious teacher has been invited by the Chiu and Xian family. This news made the head of the family and the others even more worried. Half a month ago, Zhao Yufei returned and shocked both the Chiu and Xian clans, sweeping away the two clans' reputation. And now, the two families had found a chance to get close to a Saint Realm Master. Hee hee, the Qiu and Xian family don't know what's good for them. Do they want to be removed from Sun Feather City? A bright smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. In the eyes of ordinary clans in the secular world, a sage was basically a legendary and invincible existence. Therefore, the two clans were very confident. But how would they know that in the clan world, the holy martial path was just the beginning? On the same night. Not good. The elders of the Qiu and Xian family as well as the Saint Realm Master have come to visit the Zhao clan. The upper echelon of the Zhao family panicked. Guests. Zhao Feng casually spat out 2 words. Inside the hall of the Zhao clan. The head of the family was on pins and needles. The elders were uneasy, but they forced themselves to calm down. Head of the family. Zhao Feng suddenly spoke. Feng heir, what can I do for you? Zhao Tiansung said politely. Have you ever thought about making the Zhao clan the only family in Sun Feather City? Zhao Feng smiled faintly and said. What? You mean? The head of the family and the elders were all shocked. Zhao Feng was too arrogant. Dominating the Zhao clan. The Qiu and Xian families have deep roots, especially the Xian family, who have connections with the other families in the royal capital. Plus, the Guanjuan Palace and the Cloud Country don't want to see a single family dominating any area. Zhao Yusong shook his head and sighed. Even if the Zhao clan didn't have the power, they would face a lot of resistance. As long as they want. None of this is a problem. Zhao Feng smiled and didn't say anything else. At that instant, footsteps could be heard coming from outside the hall, followed by a powerful aura. Those who hurt my disciple, kneel down and accept your death. A vigorous and deep voice reverberated in the huge hall. In the next moment, the aura of the ascended mortality saint stage descended from the sky and penetrated the heaven and earth yuan qi. Boom! The head of the family and elders in the hall felt as if they had suffered a heavy blow and their breathing became hard. The upper echelon of the Qiu and Xian families surrounded a white-bearded elder as they entered the hall. Who's Zhao Feng? The white-bearded elder scanned the hall. His gaze quickly landed on Zhao Feng, who was the only one who remained calm and had a mysterious smile on his face. You are. The expression of the white-bearded elder changed slightly when he saw Zhao Feng. With his level, he could obviously see that Zhao Feng was at the ascended realm, which meant that Zhao Feng's cultivation was even higher than his. Hee, a measly second sky dares to find trouble with me. Zhao Feng shook his head with a smile. The white-brow old man's face changed, the true power in his body surged, and he bellowed, Brat! This is the territory of the Broken Moon clan. How dare you do this? Broken Moon clan. Zhao Feng was dazed when he heard this. Kid, are you scared? I won't trouble you. Just apologize and I'll let you go. The white-browed old man had a proud look on his face and was filled with confidence. Even if the opponent was from the same world, this was the territory of the Broken Moon clan. If the opponent didn't have a high cultivation, they would have to think twice. Hearing this, the expressions of the Qiu and Xian families changed. How could they let this brat go so easily? The white-browed old man glanced at them coldly. The cultivation of this kid in front of him might be above his own. Right now, he was like an arrow on a bowstring, and he needed to find a way out. That Yu Tianhua was just a disciple he had casually taken in and he was only used to run errands. But if he fought with a true saint for him, it would be a huge loss. Hee, Broken Moon clan. Looking at your old age, you are still running around outside. You must be an errand boy for the External Affairs Hall. Zhao Feng smiled. What? The white-bearded elder's expression changed dramatically. He didn't think that Zhao Feng would see through his identity. That's right. He was the same as Lord Guanjuan, he belonged to the Outer Mission Division and was sent out to run errands. This kind of clan members usually didn't have enough cultivation and thus were sent out to run errands. Lord Guanjuan and Lord Sangtia were people that didn't belong to the clan. Could it be that you're also? Cold sweat appeared on the white-bearded elder's forehead. Pa! Zhao Feng took out a jade token and threw it on the ground as he stared coldly at the white-bearded elder without saying a word. There was an eye-catching, true, character on the jade token. Core disciple. The white-bearded elder's face instantly paled as he panicked. I'm blind and didn't recognize Mount Tai. After saying this, he respectfully handed the token to Zhao Feng with a humble expression. Being a member of the Outer Mission Division, the white-bearded elder had been an outer disciple and hadn't reached the Ascended Realm before the age of 30. And the core disciple of the inner disciples was an existence that he could only dream of. Although the white-bearded elder had always been at the edge of the clan, he still knew a bit about the clan. Normally, the core disciples of the inner disciples would have the upper echelons of the clan behind them, such as an elder. To him, who was at the bottom of the sect, such a person was no different from a crown prince. This scene made the three families of Sun Feather City dazed. What's going on? The Qiu and Xian families panicked. The upper echelons of the Zhao clan looked at Zhao Feng with shock and joy. No one had expected that the reclusive master would lead the higher-ups of the two clans to denounce them. In the end, they would end up in such dire straits. The so-called hidden expert had surrendered to Zhao Feng. Cripple these people's cultivations. From today onwards, there will only be one big family in Sun Feather City, the Zhao clan. Zhao Feng ordered. The Qiu and Xian clans were shameless. Half a month ago, Zhao Yufei made a move to intimidate them. Who would have thought that this group of people did not know what was good for them? Yes. The white-browed elder had a respectful expression on his face. Instead of being shocked, he was overjoyed. This was the perfect opportunity for him to redeem himself. What happened next was shocking. The white-bearded elder beat all the upper echelons of the Qiu and Xian families to the ground, crippling their cultivation. This scene made the upper echelons of the Zhao clan suck in a cold breath. They had finally seen the extraordinary power of a sage. And such an expert was willing to be Zhao Feng's lackey. On the same night, the Qiu and Xian families were removed from Sun Feather City. More than half of the upper echelons of the two families had their cultivation crippled. Even if they stayed in Sun Feather City, they wouldn't be able to fight against the Zhao clan. The Qiu family left Sun Feather City to join a big family in the capital. And the Xian family directly submitted to the Zhao clan. One night, the situation in Sun Feather City had changed drastically. Zhao Feng and the white-bearded elder looked at it all coldly. The rise and fall of the mortal world, in their eyes, was like the migration of ants. As a disciple of a righteous sect, why would your disciple know a demonic skill, even though it's only at the half-mortal level? Zhao Feng asked casually. The white-browed old man said in panic, that demon Dao cultivation technique was obtained by me in a corner of the sky cloud forest. Recently, there were traces of foreign sections. Foreign sects. So you're the one who found the mission? Zhao Feng asked curiously. That's right, I was the one who found the foreign sections. Lord Guanjuan is also helping, but none of the people he sent out have returned. The white-bearded elder explained. What a coincidence. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. He didn't think that Lord Guanjuan would be involved in this mission as well. According to what I know, this mission is a rank 5 mission. Are you carrying out the mission alone? The white-bearded elder asked carefully. Chapter 204. That's right, it's just me. Zhao Feng glanced at the white-bearded old man and he could guess what the latter was thinking. In the Broken Moon clan, only those at the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm or higher could take on a 5th-level mission. Since Zhao Feng was by himself, it was obvious that his cultivation hadn't reached the requirement yet. There have been figures at the 7th sky of the Ascended Realm in the foreign clan. Although we won't fight them head-on, the risk of this mission is extremely high and there's a chance that it might be above the 6th level. The white-bearded old man added, as if he wanted Zhao Feng to back off. He had originally thought that the clan would place great importance on a mission related to the foreign clan and send at least 2 at the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm or even 1 at the 6th sky of the Ascended Realm. But who would have thought that only 1 disciple would be sent for this mission? Since the clan is willing to give this mission to me, there must be a reason. Zhao Feng's tone was filled with confidence, which surprised the white-bearded old man. But then he thought about it. According to normal procedures, the clan wouldn't allow people to take on missions higher than their cultivation, let alone such a sensitive and dangerous mission. But the clan had allowed it. This itself was very strange. The white-bearded old man couldn't help but look at Zhao Feng a few more times. This youth was very young, but his words and actions were calm and the decisiveness he had displayed was not something that disciples of the same age could compare to. This mission must be completed within 10 days. Zhao Feng continued. 10 days? That's a bit hard. The clues about the foreign clan are deep within the sky cloud forest. Trying to find them is like finding a needle in a haystack. The white-bearded old man said. The 3-clan party is about to begin in 10 days, so, Zhao Feng said decisively. At the same time, he was confident that information gathering was his forte. With his godlike left eye, he was an invincible scout. 3-clan party. The elder with white eyebrows was filled with respect, and his gaze toward Zhao Feng instantly changed. He obviously knew what it meant to be able to participate in the 3-clan party. This meant that Zhao Feng's strength was at the top of the core disciples. After that, the 2 of them started to discuss the situation of the mission. The white-browed old man took out a map and marked the clues to the foreign sections. Zhao Feng looked at some of the terrain on the map and felt that it was somewhat familiar. Suddenly, another map appeared in his mind. Back when he was in the Guanjuan Palace, he had gone to the Sky Cloud Forest to carry out a mission to exterminate the bandits. That mission was temporarily ended due to the appearance of the mysterious man in the bamboo hat. But not long after, the mysterious man in the bamboo hat controlled the king-level Fierce Beast and led the Fierce Beast army to attack Guangling City. And this time, the clues for the mission also started from this place. Is there a connection between the 2? Zhao Feng frowned and fell into deep thought. Zhao Feng had no way of estimating the strength of that mysterious bamboo hat man. After all, his level at the time was limited. But at that time, Zhao Feng instinctively felt that the opponent was stronger than Lord Guanjuan. What left the deepest impression on him was that the mysterious man in the bamboo hat had a pair of deep blue eyes. What's your name? Zhao Feng suddenly asked. My name is Bai Yunlai, my nickname is White Brow, you can call me White Brow Old Man. The white-browed old man smiled awkwardly. Zhao Feng only started to pay attention to his name now, his presence was too low. White Brow Old Man, I alone will be enough for this mission. Zhao Feng ordered. But, the white-browed old man was surprised. Zhao Feng didn't need his help to carry out this mission alone. You can leave now, I've been there before. Zhao Feng waved his hand impatiently. Yes, yes. The white-browed old man didn't dare to disobey, his figure flashed and disappeared from the room. Sending the white-browed old man away, Zhao Feng's lips curled into a smile. On the same night, the white-browed old man and Zhao Feng disappeared one after the other. Deep into the night, the old man with white eyebrows flew like a ghost and left Sun Feather City quickly. I don't know if this brat is arrogant or smart, he doesn't need my help. The white-browed old man murmured to himself as his figure merged into the night and headed towards a certain direction in the Sky Cloud Forest. After entering the Sky Cloud Forest, the white-browed old man's speed didn't slow down and he seemed to be very familiar with the terrain. He didn't know that there was a shadow-like existence behind him that merged into the night. Shwa! The Yin shadow cloak shook and a half-transparent figure with flowing azure hair appeared. As I thought. Zhao Feng laughed coldly. His left eye could see hundreds of yards away and he could clearly see the white-browed old man's true force and blood flow. Zhao Feng could even see through the old man's organs. After reaching the ascended realm, Zhao Feng's left eye had become stronger and his power had also increased. The azure abyss in the dimension of his left eye was 4 feet long and it spun continuously. If one looked closely, they would realize that the true force deep within the white-browed old man's dantian was a hint of scarlet black and his organs were different from cultivators of the righteous path. He cultivates the demonic sex cultivation technique and is poisoned, yet he still hides it so deeply. Zhao Feng saw the white-browed old man's situation clearly. No one under the true spirit realm could hide from Zhao Feng's eyes. Of course, this was under the condition that he purposely used his left eye. Under normal situations, he wouldn't be so bored. However, this mission was different. Zhao Feng thought that there was something wrong with Yu Tianhua's demonic skill. Out of caution, he tried to find out the white-browed old man's background and the result shocked him. It was obvious that the white-browed old man had betrayed the Broken Moon clan. Therefore, Zhao Feng let the white-browed old man go and chased after him. With his cultivation and the Yin shadow cloak, it was extremely easy for him to chase after a small fry from the clan. Zhao Feng also realized that the Yin shadow cloak's stealth was doubled at night. At night, even if he didn't purposely circulate his true force, the Yin shadow cloak's stealth ability allowed him to blend into the darkness. After entering the depths of the sky cloud forest, the white-browed old man's speed suddenly increased. A scarlet-black true force appeared in his body, and his aura rose to a new level, increasing his speed. Peak third sky of the ascended realm. A light flashed in Zhao Feng's eyes. But this was good too, the old man's speed could save him some time. 4 to 6 hours later. The white-browed old man passed through a river. Zhao Feng's eyes lit up. He had been to this river before. It was that time when he passed through this place and met the mysterious hooded figure. It looks like the clue is here. Why did the mysterious hooded figure stop us? He even wanted to control the deadly beast army to destroy the Guanjuan city. Zhao Feng started to feel that there was a problem here. After passing through the river, the white-browed old man's speed slowed down and his expression became cautious. The next part of the journey was more dangerous. There were many high-tiered deadly beasts nearby and in some areas, there were even lord-tiered deadly beasts, which were Yao beasts. Deadly beasts that surpassed the peak tier were Yao beasts. For example, the illusion fox that Zhao Feng met in the trial could affect the mind of core disciples. The Yao Beast King and Vine King on the Sky Boundary Island were at least at the true spirit realm. But with his left eye and the Yin shadow cloak, Zhao Feng had an easier time than the white-browed old man leading the way. Suddenly, the white-browed old man's figure stopped. Shua! 2 black figures appeared in the forest ahead and their auras had reached the 4th and 5th sky of the ascended realm. White-browed old man, why are you back? One of the black figures said in a cold and cautious voice. I'm here to report that the Broken Moon clan has sent out a powerful core disciple and he might be coming from here. The white-browed old man said. Why don't you lure him over? The other black figure said. That brat's arrogant and wants to come alone. The white-browed old man snickered. Good. You go back first. It's not bad to be able to control a core disciple. The 2 black figures soon disappeared into the night. The white-browed old man didn't dare to stay any longer and returned. Zhao Feng thought about it but he didn't attack the white-browed old man in case he alerted the enemy. The 2 black figures seemed to specialize in concealment and they merged into the night, invisible to the naked eye. But Zhao Feng's left eye was extremely powerful and he instantly caught sight of one of the black figures heading into the depths of the forest. Success. Zhao Feng used the Yin shadow cloak's cover to chase. The black figure didn't sense Zhao Feng at all. He didn't know that Zhao Feng had just passed by his feet. The tracking was still ongoing. On the way, the black figure passed by a few other figures. The deeper he went, the more terrifying the auras became. At a certain moment, a dark ancient temple appeared in the forest and it was surrounded by an illusion array. If it wasn't for the fact that Zhao Feng's left eye could see through the array, he wouldn't have been able to see the ancient temple. Stop! On a tree in front of the ancient temple stood a hooded figure with dark blue eyes. It's him. Zhao Feng's heart skipped a beat. The person on the tree was the mysterious hooded figure that he had met twice before. After the black figure reported to the hooded figure, he turned around and left. The hooded figure stood on the tree and looked around with his dark blue eyes. Zhao Feng felt an invisible mental energy wave sweeping towards him. He instinctively activated his bloodline power and pushed the Yin shadow cloak's concealment to the maximum. At this moment, his figure was completely distorted in the shadows as if he had become transparent. Not noticing anything amiss, the bamboo-hatted man nodded. Then, he stood on the tree silently. He's not entering the ancient temple. Or maybe a core disciple isn't enough for him to report further. Zhao Feng furrowed his eyebrows. But the mysterious hooded figure didn't move and Zhao Feng didn't dare to act recklessly. This person gave him an indescribable feeling of danger. He tried to use his left eye to see if the hooded figure was real. The mysterious hooded figure seemed to sense something as he suddenly stood up and looked towards Zhao Feng's direction with his dark blue eyes. Zhao Feng was stunned and immediately took back his left eye's power of perception. The opponent clearly hadn't reached the true spirit realm, how could he sense his left eye? Zhao Feng once again felt a powerful mental energy wave gather around him. This hooded figure seems to specialize in mental energy and his eyes are different from others. Zhao Feng took a deep breath. He was sure that he had encountered a formidable opponent with similar abilities. Moreover, his opponent was more proficient in the spiritual domain and could even control demonic beasts and lead an army of vicious beasts. At this moment, it was a battle. Chapter 205. The hooded figure's blue eyes scanned the area where Zhao Feng was at. Wisps of mental energy fluctuations spread out like a spider web. They were obscure, powerful, and unpredictable. Suddenly, Zhao Feng's heart shook as he felt the ground beneath his feet shatter and turn into a bottomless abyss. In the air, countless fireballs, each weighing hundreds of thousands of pounds, roared as they smashed towards him. This destructive power could be said to be catastrophic and even those at the true spirit realm would be in danger. In that moment of life and death, Zhao Feng's left eye glowed with a sharp azure light and the azure abyss in the dimension of his left eye spun and expanded. Who? Zhao Feng took a deep breath and the illusion in front of him was instantly destroyed as cold sweat appeared on his back. The hooded figure's mental energy illusion was so powerful that it almost made Zhao Feng fall for it. One had to know that even the illusion fox, who specialized in mental energy illusions, wasn't able to affect Zhao Feng. No. This isn't just an illusion, it's also a mental energy attack. If it wasn't for my left eye, my mind would have been heavily injured and this is even more terrifying than a physical injury. Zhao Feng analyzed the hooded figure's attack. The opponent's usage of mental energy was extremely profound and the mental energy attack seemed to be real. At this moment, Zhao Feng had a clear understanding of the hooded figure's strength. The latter's cultivation had reached the seventh sky of the ascended realm and his mental energy was comparable to the true spirit realm. Was it just my imagination? The hooded figure stood on the tree in front of the ancient temple and was slightly puzzled. He had always been confident in his instincts because it was a talent that specialized in mental energy. However, there was no reaction when he used illusions on that area. Even cultivators at the seventh sky of the ascended realm would be injured by his illusions and they might even show flaws. The hooded figure still can't see through me. Zhao Feng let out a breath. The Yin shadow cloak was indeed worthy of being an inheritance treasure. In the night, the effect of invisibility was doubled, allowing his figure to merge into the darkness. Moreover, at the crucial moment, Zhao Feng activated his bloodline power without holding back, fully displaying the power of the Yin Shadow Cloak. Meow, meow. It was at this crucial moment that a little gray cat jumped onto the tree on the opposite side. What? Zhao Feng's heart skipped a beat. He cursed inwardly, "You little thieving cat, you could have come out at any time, but you just had to come out now." The little thieving cat grinned and stood on the tree, facing the bamboo hat man. Eh? A cat that could turn invisible? What kind of demonic beast is this? The man in bamboo hat revealed a strange expression. Whoosh! The little thieving cat merged into the night and disappeared. Fuck! The little thieving cat also knew how to hide. Zhao Feng was completely dumbfounded. But on second thought, felines were good at moving around at night, not to mention a mysterious race like the little thieving cat. Meow, meow. The little thieving cat appeared on another tree, in a straight line with the bamboo-hatted man, about 10 zhang away from him. This cat is interesting. Maybe it has some special bloodline. The man in bamboo hat's heart moved and decided to capture this little cat that could turn invisible. The little thieving cat smiled and spat out an old bronze coin. The old bronze coin was tossed into the air by the little thieving cat and it spun around until it landed in the palm of the cat's hand. Isn't this the treasure that the little thieving cat swallowed in the trial? Zhao Feng stared at the old bronze coin. The man in bamboo hat paused, as if he didn't understand the little thieving cat's intentions, but he could see the gloating expression on the little thieving cat's face. Not good. He suddenly exclaimed and looked behind him. So. Whoosh! Whoosh! A beam of red light shot into the sky from the other side of the ancient temple. In that instant, the heaven-earth yuan qi fluctuated and the aura of the true spirit realm suppressed everything within several miles, causing the hearts of countless beings to tremble. The aura of the true spirit realm. The man in bamboo hat didn't care about the weird little thieving cat anymore. The aura of the true spirit realm had already locked onto him. The little thieving cat swallowed the old bronze coin into its stomach and sat on a tree, as if it was going to watch the tigers fight. The red light soon stopped and floated in the air, revealing a red-robed elder and a red-haired youth around 17 to 18 years old. Master! This is the place. This is where Disciple was ambushed by them. The red-haired youth's breathing quickened as he pointed at the man in bamboo hat. The man in bamboo hat snickered coldly as his blue eyes released a cold ripple that instantly swept over. The eyebrows of the red-robed elder furrowed, but he could deal with it. However, the red-haired youth next to him screamed. The red-robed elder immediately protected the youth and a powerful chi of true spirit turned into a scarlet storm that charged towards the man in bamboo hat. In an instant, the fan-shaped area with a diameter of more than 100 feet was turned into charred ashes. The man in bamboo hat panicked and retreated, obviously unable to fight against someone at the true spirit realm. If he was hit by that power, he would die even if he was at the peak 7th sky. Wah! The man in bamboo hat spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated to the ancient temple that was covered by the illusion array. So you're from the ancient shrine. We're both members of the 13 clans, why did you attack Hong? The red-robed elder fed the youth a spiritual pill and chased into the ancient temple. From the looks of it, the forces within the ancient temple had not only attacked the Broken Moon clan, but also the nearby forces. The red-haired youth's cultivation had reached the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm, which was not bad. In the Broken Moon clan, he would be ranked within the top 5 core disciples. Taking advantage of the chaos, Zhao Feng leapt into the air and landed on a nearby ancient tree. Standing on top of the ancient tree, Zhao Feng opened his left eye and looked through the illusion array to see the situation within the ancient temple. The red-robed elder had been ambushed after entering the ancient temple, but being at the true spirit realm, he was strong and instantly killed 5 to 6 people. Those that were killed were all at least at the fifth sky of the ascended realm, and none of them were able to fight back. This is the strength of someone at the true spirit realm. Zhao Feng clucked his tongue. Zhe, you're indeed worthy of being an elder at the true spirit realm of the Silver Moon clan. Did you not see the heart-controlling seed on him? The hooded figure laughed wickedly. What? Heart-controlling seed? The red-robed elder's expression changed dramatically. Poof! A divine weapon dagger pierced into the red-robed old man's chest. The person who had attacked was the red-haired youth. Hung, you, the red-robed elder was filled with grief and sent the youth flying with a surge of true force. The red-robed elder then roared in anger, "Today, I will kill all of you. As long as I kill the person who planted the heart-controlling seed, Hong will regain his freedom." On top of the ancient tree, Zhao Feng revealed a thoughtful expression. The Silver Moon clan that the red-robed elder belonged to was one of the three clans, one of the clans participating in the three-clan party, along with the Lin Moon clan and Broken Moon clan. The ancient shrine that the hooded figure belonged to was one of the 13 clans like the three clans. Right at this moment, the situation within the ancient temple changed once again. Zhe, a silver-striped blood zombie walked out of one of the deep halls of the ancient temple. The silver-striped blood corpse gave off a cold aura and its eyes glowed red. Its aura was even stronger than the hooded figure's. It's him. Blood Corpse Protector. Zhao Feng's heart skipped a beat as he watched from afar. He had fought with this silver-striped blood corpse before. Last time in the Scarlet Moon demonic cave, he had only barely won. At that time, the Blood Corpse Protector was extremely weak and had just woken up, so he didn't have much strength left. But even then, Zhao Feng and company had almost been killed. Now, the Blood Corpse Protector had recovered his cultivation to the half-step true spirit realm and his body was even more terrifying. He took the attack from the red-robed elder head-on and charged forward. The Blood Corpse Protector's body was extremely tough and could block attacks from those at the true spirit realm. On the other hand, the hooded figure was using mental energy attacks from afar to interfere. Even so, it's hard to beat someone at the true spirit realm. Zhao Feng analyzed in his heart. In reality, the Blood Corpse Protector and the youth didn't have any intentions of beating the red-robed elder. Instead, they retreated and wore each other down. On the other hand, the hooded figure used mental energy to wear down the red-robed elder. Soon, the Blood Corpse Protector and the hooded figure retreated back into the hall. The red-robed elder and youth entered the hall. A weird scene appeared. As soon as the group entered the hall, the surroundings of the ancient temple fell into dead silence, without any signs of activity. It was as if the red-robed elder and youth had been devoured by a giant beast. Zhao Feng could feel a soul-shocking mental energy surge within the hall. Soon, the red-robed old man and the youth expressionlessly walked out of the hall and soared into the sky. It was as if nothing had happened at all. Too weird. Zhao Feng's heart shook. He took a deep breath and circulated his left eye to the maximum. The next instant, his gaze passed through the entrance of the hall and saw the situation inside. Within the hall, the hooded figure and the Blood Corpse Protector were both injured. This was especially so for the Blood Corpse Protector, who had been attacked by someone at the true spirit realm. If it was someone at the half-step true spirit realm, they would have died many times already. In the center of the hall was a futon with a lifeless skeleton sitting on it. However, there were two balls of deep red flames burning in the eye sockets of the skeleton. Zhao Feng instinctively didn't dare to use his left eye to look at the skeleton. Who? The two balls of red light in the skeleton's eye sockets became dimmer and dimmer, as if it was becoming weaker. My lord is indeed worthy of being one of the 12 division leaders of the Scarlet Moon religion. Even in such a weakened state, he can still control an expert at the true spirit realm. The hooded figure's eyes were filled with respect. A mysterious voice came from the skeleton, he's only at the true human rank at the first sky of the true spirit realm. I've killed countless small characters like him in the past. The reason why I was able to succeed this time is because you've worn him down. I need to rest for half a month. Zhao Feng watched from afar. Although he couldn't hear the conversation in the hall, he felt his hairs stand on end. Division leader, this stronghold is probably no longer safe. Our quick infiltration might have already raised the alarm of the 13 clans. The Blood Corpse Protector said worriedly. That's true, but before that, a dark red light suddenly shot out from the skeleton's eye sockets. Not good. Zhao Feng, who was standing on top of the tree, felt his heart hurt, as if something disgusting had touched him. Wuyo, go capture the brat outside. I've already left a ghost mark on him. Only you can sense him and have the energy to chase after him. The mysterious skeleton ordered. Meow meow. The little thieving cat suddenly leapt back into the interspatial bracelet. Mission complete. Let's go. Zhao Feng's cloak fluttered and like an arc of lightning, he merged into the night and disappeared. Brat, you won't be able to escape. The hooded figure flew out of the ancient temple and locked onto Zhao Feng with his cold blue eyes. Chapter 206. Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power and under the cover of the Yin's shadow cloak, he merged into the night. At this moment, he had even merged his lightning intent into it, increasing his speed to the maximum, surpassing some at the sixth sky of the ascended realm. Speed, stealth and his left eye's control of the terrain, with the combination of these three, Zhao Feng was confident that he could shake off an injured cultivator at the seventh sky of the ascended realm. However, Zhao Feng realized that no matter how he tried to hide, the hooded figure could still accurately catch up to him. He started to realize that this must have something to do with the disgusting thing on him. The skeleton had used some kind of secret technique on him and the disgusting feeling made Zhao Feng feel helpless for the first time. He wasn't proficient in mental energy and it wasn't realistic for him to counter the opponent's secret technique in a short amount of time. It looks like running away won't work. Zhao Feng didn't lose his cool as he analyzed the advantages of both sides. As his thoughts spun, Zhao Feng realized that he had a high chance of killing the hooded figure. Firstly, the hooded figure had been injured in the battle with the cultivator at the true spirit realm and had expended a lot of energy. Secondly, Zhao Feng himself had strong resistance against mental energy attacks. Thirdly, the hooded figure shouldn't be proficient in close combat. This was especially so for the third point, which gave Zhao Feng hope. The hooded figure was proficient in mental energy control, but he didn't seem to be proficient in close combat. In the battle with the cultivator at the true spirit realm, the hooded figure kept his distance and didn't dare to get close. Only Zhao Feng could calmly analyze the situation and make a decision in such a desperate situation. If it was someone else, they wouldn't even have the thought of fighting back when facing the hooded figure at the seventh sky of the ascended realm. Soon, Zhao Feng purposely slowed down his speed after coming up with a plan, to act like he was running out of stamina. After all, his cultivation was only at the fourth sky of the ascended realm and he couldn't maintain such a terrifying speed for a long time. When the hooded figure was 10 yards away, the cloak on Zhao Feng's back suddenly turned and a few blurry figures appeared in the night. Swoosh! Lightning crackled in the air as Zhao Feng suddenly erupted with terrifying speed and counterattacked the bamboo hat man. The hooded figure was already chasing after him and this meant that their speed had exceeded the seventh sky of the ascended realm. This sudden change surprised the bamboo hat man. He didn't expect that the other party would dare to counterattack. Zhao Feng quickly closed in, the blood meridians and true power in his body condensed to the maximum, as though he could hear the sound of electricity. This was Zhao Feng's strongest attack. Even a cultivator at the sixth sky of the ascended realm would be injured or even killed by it. However, there was no trace of panic on the bamboo hat man's face. His lips curled into a mocking smile, and his deep blue eyes exuded a sinister and bone-chilling mental ripple. No matter how fast the material plane is, it's impossible for it to surpass the speed of the mind. Zhao Feng suddenly froze. He was only 10 feet away from the man in the bamboo hat and could not take another step forward. The two of them were like two stone statues facing each other. Zhao Feng only felt a cold corrosive mental energy enter his mind. When a person's consciousness was restrained and confused, how could he control his body? Zhao Feng clenched his teeth and he circulated his left eye to fight back. This guy has such a strong source of mental energy in his body. He's almost immune to mental energy attacks under the true spirit realm. The bamboo hat man was even more surprised. He knew how strong his mental energy attacks were. There weren't many at the seventh sky of the ascended realm who could block it. In the previous battle, he could even disturb those at the true spirit realm. This brat is blessed by the heavens to have such terrifying talent in mental energy. If he walks on the path of mental energy, even with my special bloodline, I'll be easily surpassed by him. Jealousy appeared in the bamboo hat man's heart and his killing intent became stronger. Such a genius in the mental energy domain must be killed. It was obvious that the bamboo hat man was stunned by Zhao Feng's talent. Such a strong source of mental energy, almost immune to mental energy attacks and illusions. If it was anyone else in the path of mental energy, their eyes would go red with jealousy and want to kill him. The existence of such a person was the bane of their path. The mental energy attacks from the bamboo hat man became stronger and stronger. Zhao Feng felt that his consciousness was about to collapse. At this critical moment, he furiously circulated his left eye and hid his consciousness in the dimension of his left eye. The bamboo hat man's mental energy attacks also entered the dimension of his left eye. Wang! Inside the dimension of his left eye, the azure abyss spun quickly and an indescribable suction force formed in the soul dimension. Ah! Not good. That's... The bamboo hat man screamed in fear. He felt that his mental energy and consciousness were being pulled away by an indescribable force. His mental energy was being sucked away and even his soul was about to be sucked away. The bamboo hat man tried his best to resist, but it was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. At last, he clenched his teeth and even if he had to suffer the backlash, he had to cut off the connection with the force. But right at this moment, the situation changed. Puchi! The bamboo hat man felt a sharp pain in his neck and blood spurted out. A cry of pain echoed in the soul dimension. With a plop, the bamboo hat man fell to the ground dead. His throat was pierced through and there was a small bloody hole. Meow meow. The little thieving cat jumped up and down on the bamboo hat man's body and looked at Zhao Feng with a pleased expression. Zhao Feng broke out in cold sweat. He didn't expect the little thieving cat to attack the bamboo hat man at the most crucial moment. This little thieving cat was not just smart. What is it doing? Zhao Feng's eyes focused and found that the little thieving cat was searching the bamboo hat man's body for his spoils of war. The bamboo hat man's face was revealed. It was the face of a young man. It was pale white and before his death, his face was filled with fear and unwillingness. In just a few breaths' time, the little thieving cat had searched all the valuable items on the bamboo hat man's body and almost took off his underwear. Zhao Feng was dumbfounded. There was a pile of low-grade primal crystal stones. There were 10s of them and they were all taken by the little thieving cat, eating one at a time. Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat had an agreement that the latter wasn't allowed to eat anything in his interspatial bracelet. But now that the little thieving cat was searching for the spoils of war, there was nothing Zhao Feng could do. The little thieving cat stretched out its paws and gestured at Zhao Feng. Okay. 50-50. Zhao Feng understood its meaning. The little thieving cat was more cunning than a fox and it wasn't just a normal money grubber. Soon, Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat split the spoils of war. Among the spoils of war, there was an ancient silver-covered book and a few secret manuals of cultivation techniques. Heart-controlling art, ancient shrines' unique mental energy technique able to control the mind. When trained to a high level, one can control all living beings in the world. Zhao Feng's consciousness entered it and he felt a large amount of information. Without hesitation, his left eye scanned through and copied the information and scenes into his own. As for the other books, they seemed to be skills of the ancient shrine, but they weren't as profound as the heart-controlling art. Zhao Feng was overjoyed. He had finally found a way to train in mental energy. Right at this time, Zhao Feng sensed something and a figure flashed out of the temple. Shua! Without hesitation, the cloak on his back fluttered and he disappeared into the night. A while later, the blood corpse protector brought a few subordinates and rushed to the scene. Take the body back and leave that brat to me. The blood corpse protector chased after Zhao Feng. But he was heavily injured and he wasn't familiar with the ghost mark, so he soon lost track of Zhao Feng. Within the hall. Division leader, I'm familiar with that brat's aura. He's a disciple of the Broken Moon clan and he has a pure ancient bloodline. The blood corpse branch protector said respectfully. Not only does he have an ancient bloodline, he also has a strong source of mental energy that's 10 times stronger than Wu Yu's. A weak and empty voice came from the skeleton. How is this possible? The blood corpse protector was stunned. Wu Yu was a genius that only appeared once in 100 years in the path of mental energy. If such a genius could join the dark secluded division, we would be able to revive the holy religion. Fortunately, the nether spirit mark on him won't dissipate within 3 years. The skeleton's voice was filled with excitement and expectation. Division leader, that brat won't join the holy religion so easily. Last time I invited him, I was tricked by him. Thinking about what happened last time, the blood corpse protector still held a grudge. When there's enough profit, anything is possible. The red flame in the skeleton's eye sockets dimmed and it said, immediately retreat to the Iron Dragon country and meet up with the other 2 divisions. The 13 clans are not important. 3 days later. In a hidden bird's nest in the sky cloud forest. Meow meow. The little thieving cat happily jumped on a branch and spat out an old bronze coin, which it tossed above its head. Zhao Feng opened his eyes and a wisp of mental energy rippled from his body. If one paid attention, they would realize that his aura had changed and become even more strange. Over the past few days, Zhao Feng had been comprehending the secret technique left behind by the hooded figure. Now that he had learned some mental energy techniques, he had one foot in the door. Only after this did Zhao Feng realize how powerful the source of mental energy in the dimension of his left eye was. However, right now Zhao Feng could only use a small portion of this source of mental energy. The majority of it was in a half-sealed state and couldn't be used unless it was at a critical moment. Even so, Zhao Feng's talent in this Dao was unparalleled by the heavens. Seng. Right at this moment, a figure flew over from the other side of the forest. At the same time, the little thieving cat's old bronze coin landed on its palm. Zhao Feng focused his eyes and saw that the newcomer was the old man with white eyebrows. Zhao Feng's figure leapt and landed on a tree opposite him. Ah! It's you. The old man with white eyebrows panicked. Kneel. Zhao Feng sent out 2 words in the mental energy dimension. At that instant, the wind seemed to freeze. Only Zhao Feng's cloak and azure hair fluttered in the wind. The old man with white eyebrows felt a powerful mental energy surge into his mind, causing him to lose consciousness. After that, everything he did was no longer guided by his own subjectivity and consciousness. I'll ask you a question, and you'll answer it. Zhao Feng looked down from above, as if he was the ruler of the world. Yes. The old man with white eyebrows had a respectful expression, as if he was worshipping an emperor. At this moment, his mind was already under Zhao Feng's control. He could even kill himself if he wanted. Chapter 207. This was Zhao Feng's first time using a mental energy technique, and he had only just stepped through the door. Everything went more smoothly than expected. First Elder and Li Fuwan were both right, Zhao Feng's true talent was in mental energy. In just 2 to 3 days, he had stepped into the door of mind attacks and even gained a preliminary understanding of the basic secrets and secret techniques of heart control art. If the hooded figure was still alive, he would have killed himself with a piece of tofu. If the mysterious skeleton knew of this, it wouldn't have retreated so quickly and would have taken down Zhao Feng no matter what price it had to pay. At this moment, in the forest, Zhao Feng and the white-bearded old man exchanged questions. Why did you betray the Broken Moon clan? I was threatened by them. I had no choice. The white-bearded old man's face was filled with fear and fear. Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. The situation wasn't as simple as it seemed. Not only was the white-bearded old man threatened, his soul was also affected and he was extremely respectful towards the existence of the Broken Moon clan. The mind control art's mysterious mind secret technique could affect and even control a person's mind. Zhao Feng's understanding of this wasn't as deep as the hooded figure. What's the background of this force? What's the connection between the ancient shrine and the Scarlet Moon religion? I'm only working for them, but I don't know their background or the existence of the Scarlet Moon religion. The white-bearded old man was slightly puzzled. Zhao Feng was greatly surprised. The white-bearded old man seemed to only be an errand boy and didn't enter the inner circle. His understanding of the inner circle wasn't even as good as his. With a series of questions, Zhao Feng's guesses were confirmed. The white-bearded old man was only an outer member and was controlled by the Scarlet Moon religion. He was just a bait, a chess piece. According to his understanding, the Scarlet Moon religion had infiltrated into the 13 clans, but most of it was limited to the outer circle. Half a day later. Guanjuan Palace, in a study room. I can't believe that in just half a year, you've become a core disciple and a disciple of First Elder. Lord Guanjuan's face was filled with surprise and joy. When he sent Zhao Feng to the Sky Moon Mountain, he didn't think that he would have such a good future. At that time, Lord Guanjuan thought that Zhao Feng's chance of success wasn't higher than 50%, but that was already quite high. After half a year, Zhao Feng had become a true disciple and was about to participate in the 3-sect party. He had become a genius of his generation in the sect. In the study, apart from Zhao Feng, a white-browed man stood at the side in fear and trepidation. Zhao Feng gave a brief summary of the mission. Lord Guanjuan was shocked, not only because of Zhao Feng's strength, but also because of the influence of the Scarlet Moon religion. Who would have thought that a Scarlet Moon branch leader level character would appear in the Cloud Country? Lord Guanjuan's heart skipped a beat. Up until now, Zhao Feng did not know the true identity of the skeleton in the ancient temple. After all, his left eye only provided him with sight, but it could not hear the conversation. He guessed that with the respect the Blood Corpse division had for the mysterious skeleton, the latter could be a chapter leader level character. In the past, the Scarlet Moon religion had 108 chapters spread across the continent. Any one of them could dominate an area and shake the 13 sect alliances. Therefore, it was hard for Zhao Feng to think of a division leader level character. Master, what kind of clan is the ancient shrine? Zhao Feng suddenly asked curiously. Lord Guanjuan replied solemnly, the ancient shrine is ranked second in the 13 clans and is the most mysterious clan. The headquarters of this clan is in the depths of the Sky Cloud Forest. Up until now, no one knows where the headquarters of the ancient shrine is. So mysterious. Zhao Feng couldn't help but click his tongue. For a clan to be able to hide themselves to this extent and have their headquarters in the depths of the Sky Cloud Forest, it wasn't simple at all. The ancient shrine specializes in mental energy secret techniques. Although it is a heretical sect, it is extremely strict when it comes to the succession of disciples. Every generation only accepts a few disciples. The total number of members of the ancient shrine is probably less than 100. Lord Guanjuan explained. Zhao Feng couldn't help but think that mental energy was as rare as Bai Mua's spiritual body. The requirements to enter this path were too high, meaning that they would only be able to walk the path of elites. But don't underestimate the ancient shrine. Although they don't have many members, their overall strength is ranked second in the 13 clans. That day, the hooded figure controlled the army of deadly beasts to attack the Guanjuan city. He was a member of the ancient shrine. Lord Guanjuan added with a solemn tone, obviously wary of this clan. As for the hooded figure, Zhao Feng only smiled and didn't say anything else. If Lord Guanjuan knew that the terrifying hooded figure had been killed by him, who knew what he would think? But the mysteriousness of the ancient shrine made Zhao Feng think. He felt that there was a special relationship between the ancient shrine and the Scarlet Moon religion. Logically speaking, such a powerful and mysterious clan that specialized in mental energy control shouldn't have been easily infiltrated. If it wasn't, the 13 clans would have been completely infiltrated by the Scarlet Moon religion. In terms of infiltration, the ancient shrine should be the hardest. Of course, this was only Zhao Feng's guesses and he couldn't be sure without evidence. If he spread rumors, the Broken Moon clan would be threatened and pressured by the ancient shrine, who was ranked second. Master, the time for the 3-clan party is almost up. Disciple can't stay any longer, I'll be leaving now. Zhao Feng didn't plan on staying long in the Guanjuan palace. The 3-clan party was the most important thing, and even if he wasn't in a hurry, First Elder would. Good. 3-clan party. I've underestimated your strength. Lord Guanjuan couldn't hide the excitement on his face. The 3-sect party was a legend to him when he was still an outer sect disciple. Feng, since you're able to participate in the 3-clan party, it shouldn't be a problem for you to represent the Broken Moon clan in the Alliance banquet. According to what I know, the 3-clan party is just a private competition between the 3 neighboring clans. The Alliance banquet is the true stage of the clan and it's a competition between geniuses. Even Bai Mua can't be considered a top talent in that kind of place. Lord Guanjuan's face was filled with hope. The 3-clan party and the Alliance banquet were both stages that he wanted to enter. Unfortunately, due to his talent and potential, none of these dreams were fulfilled. Master, don't worry. Disciple will take back all the glory. Zhao Feng solemnly left behind these words before drifting away. Following him was the white eyebrow who followed him like a servant. Lord Guanjuan's eyes turned and he suddenly found a bag on the table. Opening it, there were several bottles of pills, a few low-class mortal skills and even 2 middle-grade mortal weapons. Seeing this, Lord Guanjuan's eyes became red, not knowing if he was happy or moved. On the same night. Reporting to Sir. There was a mysterious person who left an item at the bottom of the stairs. There was a message on it, for Milord to read. A Guanjuan court bowed and handed over a metal box. Lord Guanjuan opened it and saw that there were also some pills and skills inside. Although they weren't as valuable as Zhao Feng's, they were still good. At the bottom of the metal box was a note, "One day, I'll take Haiyun Master's head for master." Signed, Bai Mua. Lord Guanjuan took in a cold breath as his expression changed. He gathered his true force on his palm and the note instantly turned to dust. Feng, to be able to take the 2 of you as my disciples, I can die without regrets. I can die without regrets. Haiyun Master, no matter how many schemes you have, you can't compare to my luck. You've lost. You've lost. Lord Guanjuan's face was filled with joy and he almost went crazy. Broken Moon Clan. There were only 3 days left until the 3-clan party. On this day, Zhao Feng returned and handed the mission to Vice Head Li. This mission also included the betraying white eyebrow. In the past half a year, the 13 clans have been infiltrated by the Scarlet Moon religion. But in the past 100 years, the Scarlet Moon religion has tried to rise up again, but they were all killed by the Northern Continent clans. Small clans like us only need to guard the members of the clan. Vice Headley wasn't too surprised by the mission. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. The person that appeared this time might be a subdivision leader. You said it's just a possibility. I'll report this to the clan, but I'm sure that because of your appearance, the Scarlet Moon religion's secret base has been moved. Vice Hall Master Li said confidently. Zhao Feng and Vice Headley still didn't know that the mysterious skeleton wasn't a subdivision leader, but a division leader. It was said that the Scarlet Moon religion had 12 divisions and 108 subdivisions. Those that reached the division leader level were definitely part of the upper echelons of the Scarlet Moon religion, and they could easily destroy a small clan. Luckily, the 13 clans weren't put in their eyes. This was just the edge of the Scarlet Moon religion. Zhao Feng thought that if the upper echelons of the clan didn't care, what use was there for a disciple like him to worry? However, he still reported this matter to the First Elder. You're saying that an elder of the Silver Moon clan might have been infiltrated by the Scarlet Moon religion? First Elder only half believed and half doubted it. If there really was such a terrifying existence, Zhao Feng wouldn't have been able to escape unscathed. On the same day, the Broken Moon clan sent out 2 elders and several elites to search for him. The result was that the ancient temple had turned into ruins. This matter was then left unsettled. The focus of the Broken Moon clan right now was the 3-clan party. At that time, the upper echelons of the 3 clans would discuss various matters, including the threat of the Scarlet Moon religion. Zhao Feng didn't have to worry about anything. No matter how chaotic the clan world was, raising his strength was the foundation of everything. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. Zhao Feng's mastery of mental energy techniques had reached new heights. At this moment, he was controlling a bird to fly on a mountain. With the help of his left eye, Zhao Feng could still control the bird from far away. When the bird neared the floating crest palace, it was turned to dust by the lightning. Zhao Feng's heart shook and he felt as if he had been electrocuted. Comprehension flashed in his eyes. Personal experience made his understanding of the lightning intent closer to reality. He opened his hand, and a fine electric pattern appeared on his palm. There was a sizzling sound, and a light green electric arc appeared on his fingertips. Now, he had comprehended 10% of the first level of the lightning intent. Brother Zhao, Master has summoned you. The 3-clan party will leave today. Yang Gan's voice sounded from outside the courtyard. Chapter 208. Okay. Zhao Feng walked out of the courtyard and met up with Yang Gan. After not seeing him for half a month, Yang Gan's aura had become much stronger. He was now at the 6th sky of the first head disciple. Yang Gan also inspected Zhao Feng. The latter's cultivation hadn't increased, but his aura had become more mysterious. Even Yang Gan couldn't see through him. He didn't dare to underestimate this junior brother of his. Ever since the trial, Zhao Feng had been highly regarded by First Elder and his own strength had reached an unbelievable level. A few days ago, he had almost defeated Hai Yun Master's disciples. It wasn't long before Zhao Feng and Zhao Feng saw the Grand Elder. Feng, your aura has been weird lately. First Elder said with squinted eyes. Reporting to Master, disciple received a mental energy inheritance last time, but I've also been infected by something disgusting. However, disciple believes that I'll be able to get rid of it soon. Zhao Feng didn't hide these details. Previously, when he was spying on the mysterious ancient temple, he was struck by the skeleton's secret technique. He had a nauseating feeling that lingered around him like a ghost. Even now, this feeling hadn't disappeared. Even when Zhao Feng used his left eye to check, he couldn't get rid of it. What Zhao Feng didn't know was that the skeletal division leader had left a ghost mark on him. According to the rules, it wouldn't disappear within 3 years. Of course, since Zhao Feng had received a mental energy inheritance and was progressing quickly, it was very likely that he would be able to get rid of it in the future. Let me see. First Elder spread out his spiritual sense and inspected Zhao Feng's body. Zhao Feng didn't resist and only circulated his bloodline power to block his left eye. His bloodline power was mixed with his true force and blood, so it was hard to detect if he didn't expose it. Furthermore, Zhao Feng wasn't worried that First Elder would find out that his bloodline power was related to mental energy. It's like a mental energy mark, but it's more profound. It looks like you've been targeted by someone. First Elder murmured. However, even someone as powerful as the Great Elder could not dispel this strange and formless thing. The person who attacked has probably reached the true Lord rank, and I don't specialize in mental energy techniques. Maybe the people from the ancient shrine will have a way to deal with it, but this group of people won't easily give in. The First Elder frowned slightly, as if he felt that it was a thorny problem. True Lord rank? This was too terrifying. It seems like there hasn't been an expert of this level in the 13 sect alliances for hundreds of years. Yang Gan was shocked. The three heavens of the true spirit realm were split into 3 levels: true human rank, true mystic rank and true lord rank. At the moment, there weren't any true mystic rank elders in the Broken Moon clan, much less those at the true lord rank. Those at the true lord rank stood at the peak of the northern continent and were called true lords. Zhao Feng was also moved. The strongest First Elder was only at the peak true human rank, and the other elders were at the early and late stages of the true human rank. Feng, you need to be careful of your own safety. I don't know the intentions of the person who attacked. After the alliance banquet, I'll ask the experts from the ancient shrine to help. The Great Elder sighed. Master, don't worry. There's no need to ask the ancient shrine. I believe I can deal with it myself. Zhao Feng said confidently. However, First Elder and Yang Gan obviously didn't believe his words. The true Lord rank was an existence that stood at the peak of the continent. Every single one of them could flip the clouds and rain, and they could control the fate of the continent. The difference between the true human rank and the true Lord rank was like the difference between the 1st and 7th sky of the Ascended Realm. An hour later, First Elder led the 2 to the central square of the Floating Crest Palace. Hai Yun Master and Bei Moi were already there. Apart from them, Granny Luiyue also followed. She was in charge of pill making and medicine. The 3 elders and 3 core disciples were all present. Zhao Feng's expression changed slightly when his gaze landed on Bei Moi. This guy had reached the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm in half a month. Last time when they sparred, Bei Moi was only at the peak 4th sky. This kind of improvement could be said to be the fastest in the clan. No wonder he was the most talented genius in the Broken Moon clan. Zhao Feng didn't know that after the Floating Crest trial, he had almost swept Hai Yun Master's disciples. After that, Bei Moi had cultivated like crazy. In the same generation, the competition between geniuses was to create miracles. If it wasn't for Zhao Feng, Bei Moi might not have been able to squeeze out so much potential. At the same time, if it wasn't for Bei Moi, Zhao Feng might not have achieved what he had today. Even head disciple Yang Gan's expression changed and he felt the pressure. After all, Bei Moi was someone who had received the inheritance, and reaching the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm posed a threat to his position as head disciple. This way, the Broken Moon clan's lineup for the 3-clan party was formed. Yang Gan, head disciple, 6th sky of the Ascended Realm. Bei Moi, core disciple, 5th sky of the Ascended Realm. Zhao Feng, core disciple, 4th sky of the Ascended Realm. Get ready to go. First Elder waved his hand and the cry of an eagle came from afar. A gigantic golden eagle tore through the sky from a distant mountain range, causing a golden gust of wind to blow in its wake. Its aura was terrifying. This is the flying beast of the clan, the golden ashen giant eagle. Zhao Feng inspected it. The golden ashen giant eagle had a wingspan of 7 or 8 yards, and its shadow could cover a small garden. It could carry 10 people without a problem. In terms of battle power, the golden ashen giant eagle was comparable to those at the seventh sky of the ascended realm. In terms of flying speed, normal cultivators at the true spirit realm would be slightly slower. After all, normal cultivators at the true spirit realm could only fly for a short period of time. First Elder led the group onto the back of the golden ashen giant eagle. Meow meow. The little thieving cat suddenly appeared and curiously inspected its surroundings. When Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat stepped onto the eagle's back, the giant golden ashen giant eagle started to tremble in fear. First Elder and Hai Yun Master both felt that something was wrong. First Elder thought for a bit and calmed the golden ashen giant eagle down its fear and returned to normal. Hai Yun Master's gaze towards the little thieving cat became hotter and hotter. The golden ashen giant eagle had a faint ancient bloodline and it was the strongest spiritual beast in the Broken Moon clan. But such a powerful spiritual beast was scared of the little thieving cat. Of course, Hai Yun Master didn't realize that Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat had stepped onto the back together. It was hard to say whether the golden ashen giant eagle was scared of the former or the latter. But Hai Yun Master had obviously forgotten about the fact that Zhao Feng was a factor. Meow meow. The little thieving cat's eyes spun and it suddenly flipped in the air and landed on Hai Yun Master's shoulder. Zhao Feng and company were completely dazed. Hai Yun Master first paused before hiding the joy on his face. Could it be that the little thieving cat also knew the meaning of a good bird chooses a good tree to nest in? The golden ashen eagle spread its wings and soared into the sky like a streak of light, creating a golden gust of wind behind it. So fast. Zhao Feng sighed as he stood on the back of the eagle and looked down at the mountains and rivers below. He was extremely excited. A year ago, when he was in the Zhao clan, he would never have thought that he would have such a grand journey. One day, he would use his own power to travel across this mysterious continent. Meow meow. The little thieving cat stuck to Hai Yun Master and the two seemed to be having a good time. Hai Yun Master was overjoyed in his heart. Now that he had a good relationship with the little thieving cat, Zhao Feng wouldn't be able to reject him. Zhao Feng didn't mind. The little thieving cat's standards were very high and it wasn't very likely for it to be interested in Hai Yun Master. It was probably planning something else. Hai Yun Master was overjoyed and he fed the little thieving cat a few spiritual pills which were all eaten. Meow meow. After the little thieving cat was full, it nodded its head in satisfaction and jumped back onto Zhao Feng's shoulder with a smile. The smile on Hai Yun Master's face froze. It seemed like the little thieving cat was just here to scam him. A while later. My jade pendant. Hai Yun Master's expression changed as he touched his waist. What's going on, brother Hai Yun? First Elder and Granny Luiyue both looked over. I originally had a jade heart pendant here that can suppress the demons in one's heart. It's worth a lot but it's suddenly disappeared. That's right. It must be that little thieving cat. It was the only one that came close to me. Hai Yun Master's eyes dimmed as he pointed at the little thieving cat. How was this possible? The people on the eagle's back all felt that it was impossible. This little thieving cat looked so weak and was only the size of a palm. How could it steal an elder's jade pendant? Furthermore, with the strength of someone at the true spirit realm, how could they not feel anything when it was stolen? Meow meow. The little thieving cat stood on First Elder's shoulder and shook its head with a pitiful expression. The corners of its eyes were still wet, earning the sympathy of the others. However, Hai Yun Master and his disciple didn't believe it. It must be the cat. Bei Moi said confidently. He had experienced the craftiness of this thieving cat before. Zhao Feng shook his head helplessly. If Elder Hai Yun Master doesn't believe me, you can search my interspatial bracelet. Meow meow. The little thieving cat shook its head and waved its paws in protest. Humph. As expected, Hai Yun Master walked towards Zhao Feng. Senior Hai Yun, the little thieving cat means that what if you don't find it? Isn't it an insult to its cat status? Zhao Feng had no energy, so he could only help translate. After all, the little thieving cat had signed a spiritual pet blood contract with him and their minds were connected. This, Hai Yun master felt troubled. After all, Zhao Feng was First Elder's disciple and he didn't have any evidence to search Xiao Feng's body. If he didn't find it, wouldn't he be bullying First Elder's disciple in front of him? How about this, if I find it, this cat will belong to me and I'll do whatever I want. If I don't find it, I'll give you 100 low-grade primal crystal stones of cat food. Hai Yun master said. 100 low-grade primal crystal stones. Everyone's expressions changed. That was equivalent to 10,000 substandard primal crystal stones. It wasn't a small number. Fine. Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat looked at each other and nodded their heads. Moments later, Hai Yun master handed over 100 low-grade primal crystal stones and turned to the side with a gloomy expression. Meow meow. The little thieving cat revealed a victorious expression and waved its paw at Zhao Feng. Okay, okay. We'll split it 50-50. Zhao Feng said helplessly. Hearing this, everyone almost fainted. Hai Yun master and Beimua's expressions were extremely ugly. The master and disciple were unhappy the entire way until they reached their destination. Chapter 209. The giant golden ashen eagle slowly descended from a height of several hundred feet. What entered its vision was a beautiful scenery of mountains and rivers, green hills and clear waters, evergreen trees, birdsong and fragrant flowers. The Lin Moon clan wasn't located deep in the mountains, but in a mysterious bay that seemed to be decorated with sapphires. Looking down from the sky, it was like a crescent moon. The energy here was even more abundant than the Broken Moon clan and the waterfalls flowed. Zhao Feng's vision was wider and clearer and he couldn't help but sigh. The Lin Moon clan's territory was much more majestic than the Broken Moon clan's. This was just the difference on the surface. The real difference was in the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi. Any clan would occupy a place with abundant Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi, which was good for cultivation and had a higher chance of breaking through. If it was in a place like the Zhao clan where Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi was thin, even a genius like Beimua wouldn't be able to break through to the Ascended Realm before the age of 20. Of the 13 clans, the Lin Moon clan was ranked 4th and the Broken Moon clan was either last or second to last. After arriving at the Lin Moon clan's territory, the expressions of the elders became solemn. At this moment, a ray of silver light flew over from the small continent below. Hee. Greetings friends from the Broken Moon clan. Apologies for not welcoming you. The newcomer was a wrinkled elder in silver robes and his aura was close to First Elder's. Elder Kun is too serious. The First Elder smiled faintly. The other elders greeted each other. Granny Luyue and Hai Yun master's expressions were slightly unhappy. This Elder Kun was one of the normal elders of the Lin Moon clan. The Broken Moon clan was led by First Elder and 2 other elders, but the Lin Moon clan had only sent 1 normal elder. According to common sense, the Lin Moon sect should at least send out a sect master or First Elder to welcome them personally. Only then would it not be considered rude. Ha! The sect leader and Grand Elder are currently entertaining the fellow Taoists of the Silver Moon sect. Elder Kun seemed to know what the elders of the Broken Moon clan were thinking and laughed, but disdain flashed in his eyes. Of the 3 moon clans, the Broken Moon clan was the weakest and they were always at the bottom of the 3-clan party. In comparison, the Silver Moon clan was ranked 7th in the 13-clan alliances, which was in the middle. Their strength was close, which was why the Lin Moon clan valued them. Although the elders of the Broken Moon clan were angry, they couldn't do anything. This was because the Broken Moon clan had always been at the bottom of the 3-clan parties and had lost every battle. Thinking of this, the first elder and the others looked at the disciples who were participating in the small meeting with anticipation. The disciples of the Broken Moon clan this generation were much stronger than the previous generations. The ashen gold eagle landed on a large hall in front of the small continent. Elder Kun smiled and said, "Us old farts will go to the main hall to discuss matters. Let these juniors interact on their own and take a look around the Lin Moon sect." The elders of the Broken Moon clan nodded their heads. This was the usual practice of the three sect parties. There were two main objectives of the three sect party. The first was a meeting between the upper echelons of the three sections. It was about forming an alliance and fighting against foreign enemies, as well as the distribution of benefits. Recently, the Scarlet Moon religion had been quite a bit of a rumor, so it was probably the main point of the discussion. The juniors obviously wouldn't be able to participate in these discussions. The other goal was to let the juniors of the three clans spar with each other. After all, the potential of the juniors affected the future of a clan, and it also showed the difference in strength between the clans. Usually, the stronger clans had more resources and the disciples they raised would be different. There were very few exceptions. For example, the 4 stars of the 13 clans came from the top 4 clans and the Lin Moon clan barely managed to make it. Soon, the elders of the Broken Moon clan were welcomed into the hall. "Fellow Taoists, Meng Yun will lead you around the Lin Moon clan." An emotionless voice sounded. The person who greeted Zhao Feng and company was a young man dressed in white. His tone was neutral as he glanced at the 3 disciples of the Broken Moon clan. Bei Moi and Zhao Feng were people who were too lazy to talk. Yang Gan smiled and introduced them one by one. When Bei Moi and Zhao Feng were introduced, Meng Yun casually said, "So it's 2 new people." Meng Yun and Yang Gan seemed to know each other, but they weren't close. "Brother Meng, what's your ranking amongst the core disciples of the Lin Moon clan?" Yang Gan asked. This question also raised the curiosity of Zhao Feng and Bei Moi. Meng Yun's aura was close to Yang Gan's and his cultivation had reached the peak 5th sky. Ranked 3rd. Meng Yun was emotionless. On the way, he led the disciples of the Broken Moon clan and seemed to be very casual. This feeling wasn't intentional. It was just that he was too lazy to hide his thoughts. This time, the Broken Moon clan only sent a normal elder. They also sent a ranked 3rd core disciple to greet Zhao Feng and company. "Your clan's Ao Yuetian is one of the 4 stars of the 13 clans. He's indeed a genius and I admire him," Yang Gan calmly asked about the situation of the Lin Moon clan. Meng Yun's attitude towards him, the head disciple of the Broken Moon clan, was very average. Yang Gan felt helpless. Of the 2 disciples beside him, Bei Moi was old-fashioned and didn't like to talk. As for Zhao Feng, he didn't like anyone he saw and was too lazy to talk to. Alas, these 2 fellows are both self-centered, conceited, and proud. As one of the Alliance's 4 rising stars, senior brother Ao might just be taking a look at the 3-sect party. A few months ago, he had already reached the peak 6th sky and he has learnt the extremely difficult Moon God War. No one has been able to beat him in the past 100 years. When Meng Yun mentioned Ao Yuetian, a mocking smile appeared on his face. "Clowns like you have the right to challenge Ao Yuetian?" Ao Yuetian was one of the 4 stars of the 13 clans and his strength was unparalleled. Putting aside the 3 moon clans, there weren't many that were his match. How is this possible? Ao Yuetian has learnt Moon God War. Yang Gan's expression changed. Moon God War was one of the forbidden skills of the Lin Moon clan, similar to the Broken Moon clan's Lightning Wind Palm. But Moon God War's level was higher and it was even more complete. It was an inheritance and although it was hard to learn, its power was terrifying. "I heard that someone from the Broken Moon clan has received an inheritance this time. It looks like he's not as bad as I thought." Meng Yun couldn't help but be overjoyed. Hearing this, Yang Gan became furious and was about to explode. "Okay, we're here. Meng Yun's words changed as he led the three into a fragrant garden. In the middle of the garden was a pavilion with some tea and pastries. Inside the pavilion sat more than 10 disciples. Most of them were core disciples of the Lin Moon clan, and there was also the representative disciple of the Silver Moon clan. Brother Ao, fellow Taoists of the Silver Moon clan, the representative disciple of the Broken Moon clan is here. Meng Yun purposely raised his voice, which caused the gazes of the people in the pavilion. At the very center sat Ao Yuetian, who was wearing a large blue robe, and he was looking straight ahead. In terms of looks and aura, Ao Yuetian was on par with Yang Gan, and he was the perfect image in the hearts of girls. However, Ao Yuetian had an air of arrogance, and his eyes contained a pressure that could pierce through one's soul. Ao Yuetian faintly nodded his head and didn't have any intentions of standing up. Meng Yun introduced the three. This is the head disciple of the Silver Moon clan, Mao Fei. When Meng Yun introduced the three from the Silver Moon clan, his attitude was slightly more polite. The head disciple of the Silver Moon clan, Mao Fei, had the same cultivation as Yang Gan. On Mao Fei's left and right sat a red-haired youth and a silver-robed swordsman. Zhao Feng's gaze landed on the red-haired youth. Wasn't this youth the red-haired youth from the Cloud Forest Temple? This is Li Hong, number 2 core disciple of the Silver Moon clan. Meng Yun only briefly mentioned him. Soon, the lineup of the 3 clans was revealed. Ao Yuetian was the leader of the Lin Moon clan. Mao Fei was the leader of the Silver Moon clan. Yang Gan was the leader of the Broken Moon clan. The head disciples of the 3 clans had all reached the 6th sky of the Ascended Realm, but it was obvious that Ao Yuetian was the leader. Ao Yuetian was, after all, one of the 4 stars, and he was at a higher level. The Broken Moon clan has sent out a disciple at the 4th sky of the Ascended Realm. Some of the core disciples within the Lin Moon clan whispered. Indeed. Of all the disciples, only Zhao Feng's cultivation was at the 4th sky of the Ascended Realm. Some of the core disciples of the Lin Moon clan said in disdain, even second-rate core disciples like us can crush that guy. It looks like the Broken Moon clan has fallen. Silence. Ao Yuetian harumphed coldly, and the pavilion instantly went silent. He didn't blame his fellow disciples for being rude, he just felt that it was embarrassing. From the beginning to the end, he didn't even look at the disciples of the Broken Moon clan, let alone that trash at the 4th sky. Trash, they were from the same sect, yet they were still comparing them. Wasn't this shameful? Why hasn't the prodigy with the Earth's spiritual body appeared? Mao Fei of the Silver Moon clan suddenly asked. A prodigy with the Earth's spiritual body. The expressions of the geniuses of the 2 clans changed at the same time. A light flashed in Baimua's eyes. Sister Zhao will be here soon. A rare smile appeared on Ao Yuetian's face. Sister Zhao is here. The core disciples of the Lin Moon clan exclaimed. Outside the pavilion, a girl as elegant as a fairy walked in. She had a face as beautiful as a lotus flower, as if she were a natural sculpture of exquisite snow porcelain. The young girl was dressed in a light purple dress. Her black hair draped over her shoulders, making her look like a fairy in the wind. Her clear eyes were like flawless crystals, perfect and translucent. Her skin was like snow jade with a faint blush. When she walked toward the pavilion, many of the disciples were struck by an intense sense of awe and amazement. Some of the disciples couldn't help but be mesmerized. Apart from Mao Fei of the Silver Moon clan, the red-haired youth Li Hong and the silver-robed swordsman all had dazed expressions. Is this the purple smoke fairy of your sect, the beautiful genius with the aptitude comparable to the Earth's spirit body and the inheritance? Hearing about her really isn't as good as seeing her in person. Mao Fei couldn't hide the admiration and shock in his eyes. Sister Zhao. Ao Yuetian had a warm smile on his face as he stood up to greet the purple smoke goddess. He was much more passionate than the other 2 clans. This scene fell into the eyes of the other disciples and they couldn't help but feel jealous, but Ao Yuetian's strength made them feel helpless. Yufei's late. Goddess Xian revealed a faint smile that resembled the blooming of a lotus. She was beautiful without being flirtatious. It would not be an exaggeration to say that she could captivate even fishes and beasts. But there were two people in the crowd that were surprised. It's her. Zhao Feng and Bai Mua's expressions changed. Chapter 210. It's her. Zhao Feng and Bai Mua looked at each other and confirmed that the purple smoke goddess of the Lin Moon clan was Zhao Yufei, who had disappeared in the Guanjuan palace. After half a year, the original beauty had turned into a slender and elegant young lady. Her temperament was elegant and refined. Every move, every frown, and every smile was so beautiful that it could shock the mortal world, giving people a strong shock. A few days ago, when Zhao Feng returned to the Zhao clan, the shock and emotions of the Zhao clan when they mentioned Zhao Yufei were still fresh in his mind. When Sister Yufei came back, everyone thought she was a goddess. Even Sun Feather City's #1 beauty, Qiu Mengyu, was outshone by her. Thinking back to the Zhao clan's description, Zhao Feng felt that it wasn't an exaggeration. Now that they met again, Zhao Yufei turned out to be an exceptional genius of the Lin Moon sect that was comparable to an earth's spiritual body, and she had even obtained the inheritance. Even the old-fashioned Bai Mua couldn't help but exclaim. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled as he thought back to the time when Zhao Yufei had tested her spiritual body talent. At that time, the number of circles on the crystal ball was unstable and the color was chaotic. At that time, Zhao Feng was surprised and Lord Guanjuan also thought that Zhao Yufei's body was special. But now, it seemed that Zhao Yufei had a rare changeable spiritual body which was even stronger than Sun Yuanhao's. Yufei, let me introduce you. These are the people from the Silver Moon clan. Meng Yun took the initiative to be attentive and introduced them to Zhao Yufei. In terms of status, the Silver Moon clan was higher than the Broken Moon clan, so he started with the head disciple, Mao Fei. When his name was called, the disciples of the Broken Moon clan felt as if they were being admired by a goddess and their heartbeats sped up. After all, the girl in front of them was the most talented genius of the three clans. After the Silver Moon clan finished their introductions, Meng Yun's gaze landed on the three from the Broken Moon clan and he said casually, "These are the three disciples of the Broken Moon clan led by brother Yang Gan." As for the Broken Moon clan, he only mentioned Yang Gan. It is our honor to be able to witness the most talented beauty of the three sects, Violet Mist Fairy. Yang Gan wasn't stingy with his praise and it came from the bottom of his heart. However, when the Purple Mist Fairy's gaze landed on the three from the Broken Moon clan, she was dazed for a moment before her eyes were filled with shock and joy. "Zhao! Brother Zhao Feng! You're here too." Zhao Yufei recognized Zhao Feng and Bai Mua. Especially when she fixed her gaze on Zhao Feng's face, she couldn't help but turn pale with worry. "Brother Zhao, your eyes?" Whoosh! A purple afterimage flashed, and Zhao Yufei appeared in front of Zhao Feng. The fragrance of a young girl surrounded her. "Yufei, long time no see." Zhao Feng faintly smiled as he stood there. His azure hair blew in the wind, making him look slightly weird. Zhao Yufei was dazed for a moment. At this moment in time, Zhao Feng was the same as when he was at the Zhao family and the Guanjuan palace. He was still calm and confident, and the confidence that he exuded had defeated him time and time again, even making him rely on him. Furthermore, the current Zhao Feng gave her a mysterious and weird feeling. She was sure that not only was Zhao Feng fine, he was even stronger than before. Yufei lost her composure. Zhao Yufei's worry turned into joy as she smiled and greeted Bai Mua. "So you guys know each other?" Yang Gan was stunned. Ao Yuetian and Meng Yun's expressions were slightly ugly. This was especially so for Meng Yun. He had purposely ignored Zhao Feng and Bei Moi, but he never would have thought that the goddess in his heart would know these two. Ao Yuetian was also slightly annoyed. Zhao Feng, who he saw as trash and didn't even bother to look at, seemed to be very close to Zhao Yufei. Zhao Yufei smiled as she gave a simple introduction. Everyone realized that Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei were from the same clan, and they were from the same sect as Bei Moi. Within the pavilion, the atmosphere became more relaxed. Everyone knew each other, so there wasn't much of a distance between them. Of the three from the Silver Moon clan, Zhao Feng had met the red-haired youth Li Hong a few days ago, so he could be considered an acquaintance. However, Zhao Feng was wary of Li Hong. What relationship did this brat have with the Scarlet Moon religion? After chatting for a while, the topic soon turned to cultivation. Ao Yuetian's moon god war, Zhao Yufei, and Bei Moi's inheritances were the focus of everyone's attention. Of course, the few of them only briefly mentioned the things that they had inherited from their respective cultivation. They didn't plan anything deeper. This brother Zhao Feng is only at the fourth sky of the Ascended Realm and he's representing your clan. I'm sure there must be something special about him. Ao Yuetian's eyes turned and pointed towards Zhao Feng. Under normal circumstances, he wouldn't pay attention to someone like Zhao Feng. But this brat seemed to have a good relationship with Zhao Yufei, so he had to pay attention to him. Brother Zhao's strength isn't bad. Yang Gan could only help. Zhao Feng was too lazy to talk to Bei Moi. Bei Moi definitely wouldn't help him, so it was already good enough that he didn't hit him when he was down. As for Zhao Feng's situation, Yang Gan could only brush it off. The disciples of the Lin Moon clan and Silver Moon clan had disdain in their eyes. Maybe they were jealous of his close relationship with Zhao Yufei and wanted to see him lose face. But Zhao Feng and Bei Moi were too lazy to talk and the other was cold. After a few attempts, they felt that it was boring and gave up. Time passed quickly. At night, the meeting between the upper echelons of the three clans had basically ended. Next was the long-awaited sparring session of the three clans. More than 10 upper echelons of the three clans gathered at the Lin Moon Square. The sparring grounds were at the center of the square and it was 100 yards wide. The upper echelons and disciples of the three clans were at 3 corners of the Lin Moon Square. In the corner of the Broken Moon clan. This year, the new disciples of the Lin Moon sect are unexpectedly strong. Granny Liu Yue's eyebrows were filled with worry. Hai Yun Elder nodded his head. The difference in strength between us and the Lin Moon clan isn't small and it's impossible for us to gain the upper hand. But if we can fight to a draw with the Silver Moon clan, the other two clans will look at us differently. That's the only way. The Great Elder sighed softly. Firstly, the Lin Moon clan's formation was too strong. Head disciple Ao Yuetian was at the peak 6th sky of the Ascended Realm and he was one of the 4 stars of the 13 clans. Secondly, Zhao Yufei and Meng Yun had both reached the peak 5th sky of the Ascended Realm and the former had received an inheritance. In terms of individual and combined strength, the Lin Moon clan suppressed the other 2 clans. Right now, the upper echelons of the Broken Moon clan didn't dare to fight against the Lin Moon clan. They would be satisfied if they could fight to a draw with the Silver Moon clan. But even the Silver Moon clan had 1 at the 6th sky and 2 at the 5th sky of the Ascended Realm. From the looks of it, their formation was stronger than the Broken Moon clan's. First Elder's eyes suddenly turned and landed on the calm Zhao Feng. He had some hope in his heart that this disciple that even he couldn't see through would bring some surprises. Only First Elder knew that Zhao Feng had received the lightning inheritance and his strength far exceeded his cultivation. At this time, Ao Yuetian of the Lin Moon clan announced the start of the sparring. The sparring would be hosted by the juniors and the seniors would only observe. They could give comments, but they wouldn't interfere. Being the host, I'll come out first. Is there anyone who's willing to spar with me? Meng Yun stood in the middle of the field and cupped his fists towards the Silver Moon clan and Broken Moon clan. I'll go. The red-haired Li Hong of the Silver Moon clan stood up and a dark red aura of fire appeared around him. Fire Moon Technique. Li Hong's attack contained a berserk flame energy. That terrifying might was enough to instantly turn a house into ashes. Zhao Feng nodded his head faintly. In terms of offense, Li Hong's Fire Moon technique was similar to the Burning Wind stance that he had comprehended before, but it was on a higher level. Wind Cloud Breaking Moon technique. Meng Yun held a fan in his hand and his movements were elegant. Surges of sharp true force turned into a dominating silver wind that devoured everything in its path. In terms of offense, Meng Yun was only slightly stronger than Li Hong, and this was only because of the advantage of cultivation. However, his movements and attacks were more elegant and pleasing to the eye. Moon-breaking wind riding stance. Meng Yun waved the folding fan in his hand, and a silver gust of wind surged out. With an overwhelming advantage, Li Hong was forced to take a few steps back. Li Hong was in a sorry state, and he was almost injured. Thanks. Meng Yun didn't take the chance to attack or else he would have forced Li Hong out of the sparring field. Li Hong was slightly dispirited as he returned to the Silver Moon clan. The red-robed elder next to him shook his head and sighed. Hong, you lost because of two reasons. Firstly, you were too eager to win. Secondly, your opponent is indeed much stronger than you. In the first round of sparring, Meng Yun easily won in 10 moves. He was only the third core disciple of the Lin Moon clan, but he already had such strength. This made the elders of the other two clans feel pressured. Who from the Broken Moon clan wants to spar with me? Meng Yun's gaze swept past Yang Gan and company before landing on Baimhua. If he challenged Yang Gan, he didn't have much confidence, but if he challenged Zhao Feng, he would be under the suspicion of bullying the weak. Baimhua had an inheritance and if he could beat him, he would feel a sense of accomplishment. Baimhua walked onto the field expressionlessly and said, "You're not my match." "Hee, you're arrogant." Meng Yun wasn't the only one who was surprised. Northern Dark 5 Heavy Waves. With a thought, the dark blue ripples around Baimhua's body turned into heavy mountains that rose and fell. It was like tens of thousands of kilograms of water that pressed down endlessly. In that instant, the pressure made Meng Yun's blood stop flowing and he found it hard to breathe. He finally realized how powerful this serious and old-fashioned young man was. Moon-breaking wind riding stance. Meng Yun unleashed one of his most powerful moves with all his might. Peng peng. The dark blue ripples were like mountains that weighed tens of thousands of pounds. A total of 5 layers of pressure stacked on top of each other and Meng Yun almost spat out blood. What a strong move. He's the person who received the inheritance of the Broken Moon clan? The spectators exclaimed in surprise. Pa! In just 2 or 3 moves, Meng Yun was sent flying several yards before landing on the ground. The crowd broke out into chaos. Plop! The moment he lost, Meng Yun was shocked and regretful. Disciples with inheritances were indeed terrifying. If he had known earlier, he would have challenged Zhao Feng at the 4th sky. Although he was under the suspicion of bullying the weak, he wouldn't have lost so badly. The losses outweighed the gains. Chapter 211. The battle between Baimhua and Meng Yun was completely overwhelming. Meng Yun, who had reached the peak 5th sky of the Ascended Realm, was defeated in just a few moves. For a moment, the crowd was in an uproar as the disciples of the 3 sects turned pale. The reason why there was such a commotion wasn't just because of Baimhua's strength, but also because of the Broken Moon clan itself. The Broken Moon clan was always at the bottom of the 3-clan party. Ever since Hai Yun Master's generation, there hadn't been any outstanding geniuses. The inheritance this kid obtained seems to be extraordinary. The sect leader and elders of the Lin Moon sect exchanged glances. The 3 sects all had their own trial grounds, and they were all passed down from generation to generation. It was extremely rare for one to obtain an inheritance in the trial. Generally speaking, it was rare for a few to appear within 100 years. For each sect to have one appear this time was truly rare. Perhaps it had something to do with the destiny of the three sects, or even the entire continent. However, even inheritances were divided into strong and weak ones. Obviously, Baemoi's dark water inheritance was a very powerful inheritance. In Hai Yun Master's words, it was one of the strongest inheritances of the Floating Crest Palace. The Broken Moon clan has such a strong person this time. Mao Fei, the head disciple of the Silver Moon sect, was visibly moved. The strength that Baemoi had displayed was something that even he, the head disciple, wasn't confident in defeating. Let me. The silver-robed swordsman beside Mao Feng asked softly. Shen Guanyu, be careful. Mao Fei nodded and said. Although Shen Guanyu was ranked third among the Silver Moon sect's true disciples, he had obtained an inheritance, so his actual combat strength was stronger than Li Hong, who was ranked second. Brother Bei, you must be careful. Shen Guanyu's gaze was as sharp as the edge of a sword, and an invisible sword momentum rose from his body. Clang! The cold sword light streaked across the sky and slashed towards Baemoi. That sword gave off a powerful visual impact, like a bolt of lightning in the dark night. Baemoi's expression was solemn. He had not expected to encounter a cultivator who was skilled in the way of the sword. The three moon sects naturally did not focus on the way of the sword, but cultivators of the way of the sword were rather popular on the continent, especially 10,000 years ago. Even now, there were many sword Dao inheritances in the world. The greatest characteristic of sword Dao inheritances was that they had powerful attacks. They walked the path of unconventional swordsmanship, focusing on breaking all techniques with a single sword, pursuing the ultimate great Dao. At this moment, when Shen Guanyu slashed out with his sword, the sword aura was not something that a level 5 heaven cultivator of the same level could contend against. Darkwater Mountain. Baemoi took a light breath and the dark blue ripple around him expanded. It was like 100,000-kilogram mountain that pressed down on his opponent with unparalleled gravity. If an opponent of the same level encountered such a powerful and profound attack, it was possible that they would vomit blood on the spot. Shen Guanyu's body only paused for a moment before his sword aura, which was as cold as the sunset, broke Baemoi's Darkwater Mountain. He was cut into two, but he himself was also forced to take several steps back. What a powerful attack! The disciples of the three sects could not help but exclaim. Baemoi's inheritance clearly specialized in defense, while Shen Guanyu's inheritance specialized in offense. On the field, the two figures crossed each other. Shang Guanyu's sword momentum came round after round, like a torrential rain of pear blossoms. Sword Dao cultivators are indeed hard to deal with. Ao Yuetian muttered to himself as he reminisced. With his strength, he obviously didn't fear Shang Guanyu and didn't even put him in his eyes. But amongst the geniuses of the 13 clans, there was a peerless prodigy who held a 3-foot-long green sword and was known as One Sword Slaying the Heavens. This meant that she could slay all the geniuses in the world with one sword, and her brilliance made all the other geniuses of the 13 clans lose their luster. That person was a girl, but she had stepped on all the male geniuses of the 13 clans with one sword. Even Ao Yuetian had lost to her. That person was Tsang Yuyue, the head of the 4 stars, and she came from the Cloud Sword clan. The current Shang Guanyu was the same as Tsang Yuyue, a genius that specialized in the way of the sword. Shang Guanyu's attacks could even threaten those at the 6th sky, and even Baemoi couldn't gain any advantage in a short amount of time. Brother Zhao, what do you think Brother Bei's chances of winning are? Yang Gan asked. If Brother Bei wins, his dark water inheritance specializes in defense. On the other hand, cultivators of the sword rely on their sharpness. If they don't succeed, they will weaken. Zhao Feng said confidently. Hearing this, First Elder and Yang Gan both nodded their heads. Zhao Feng wasn't the only one with good eyes. Dark Water Reverse Wave. The dark blue ripples around Baimua's body suddenly compressed and exploded. Like a majestic flying boat, it shot forward with an unstoppable momentum and destroyed Shang Guanyu's sword aura. Shang Guanyu was pushed back dozens of yards and his clothes were torn in several places. Thanks. Baimua's expression was expressionless, as if this was the most normal thing in the world. After beating 2 people in a row, he still had some strength left and his gaze landed on Mao Fei. Challenging the head disciple. The expressions of the disciples of the 3 clans changed slightly. If Baimua beat Mao Fei, it would mean that he had crushed the Silver Moon clan under his feet. Okay. Mao Fei slowly stood up. Brother Bei, you've fought 2 battles and you've exhausted yourself. Let me do it. Yang Gan's figure flashed and he came to the center of the field. Baimua didn't object and he expressionlessly returned to the corner of the Broken Moon clan. Hai Yun Master nodded his head. Baimua's performance had given him face. At this time, on the field, Yang Gan and Mao Fei, the 2 core disciples, clashed. The competition between the chief disciples was grand and imposing, far surpassing the previous battles. Yang Gan held an ancient golden long saber in his hand and his aura surged like a river. His attacks were bold and domineering, giving off an invincible aura as if a tyrant had descended. Yang Gan's strength shocked the disciples of the 3 clans. Zhao Feng was also slightly surprised. He hadn't fought much with Yang Gan and he didn't think that his strength would increase so much after the trial. A smug expression appeared on First Elder's face. Yang Gan's talent and comprehension weren't bad and after this trial, his battle power and mentality had increased greatly. Furthermore, Zhao Feng and Baimua gave Yang Gan too much pressure and forced him to squeeze out a lot of his potential. In just 10 moves, Yang Gan had the upper hand and his blade was domineering. After 20 moves, Mao Fei panted slightly and he was shocked. What's going on with the Broken Moon clan this time? Baimua is strong since he has obtained a powerful inheritance, but even the head disciple is unbelievably strong. Very strong. Baimua murmured. He had wanted to challenge Yang Gan after reaching the 5th sky, but from the looks of it, his chance of winning was less than 20% and the chance of a draw was less than 40%. Zhao Feng had to admit that Yang Gan had the right to be the head disciple. Under normal situations, if he didn't use his bloodline power or the lightning inheritance, he probably wouldn't be Yang Gan's match. After all, his defense wasn't as strong as Baimua's and his cultivation was his weakness. After 30 moves, Yang Gan forced Mao Fei back and left a bloody mark on the latter's face. Brother Yang is indeed strong. Mao Fei is ashamed. Mao Fei wasn't too disappointed because there was a clear difference in strength between him and Yang Gan. He didn't make any mistakes during the battle. Yang Gan had used up a lot of energy after winning, so he didn't continue to challenge and came back to rest. At his level, the only one he could challenge was Ao Yuetian, so he had to wait until he was at his peak state. Your strength is not bad. I thought that I wouldn't have the chance to fight at the 3 clan party. Ao Yuetian didn't hide the arrogance in his words. He didn't even put the 3 clan party in his eyes. His target was the alliance banquet and his opponents were Zhang Yuyue, Lin Tong, and Su Zixuan. Only Yang Gan and Baimua of the Broken Moon clan had gloating expressions. Chapter 212. Seeing that Meng Yun and Li Hong were both eager to spar with Zhao Feng, they didn't seem to want to give up. How about this, the 2 of you come at me at the same time? Zhao Feng's expression was relaxed as he casually said. Don't be arrogant. Brat who doesn't know his place. Meng Yun and Li Hong paused for a moment before becoming furious. Zhao Feng's words caused the crowd to gasp in shock. They had seen arrogant people before, but they had never seen someone this arrogant. A measly fourth sky dared to say that he could fight two core disciples at the fifth sky at the same time? Of course. No matter how thick Meng Yun and Li Hong's skin was, they couldn't fight him at the same time, even if Zhao Feng was willing. They were sure that Zhao Feng said this because he knew that he had no hope of winning. I'm being sincere. Zhao Feng shook his head. Meng Yun and Li Hong almost spat out blood from anger. This brat didn't know what was good for him. Meng Yun, come down. You've lost enough face. Ao Yuetian harumphed coldly as his expression darkened. With his arrogance, he felt that Meng Yun had lost face for the clan by teaming up with a disciple at the fifth sky to bully a brat at the fourth sky. Yes, brother Ao. Meng Yun didn't dare to disobey and he obediently came down. In the Lin Moon clan, Ao Yuetian was like the new emperor. His name had even spread across the 13 clans. On the field, only Zhao Feng and Li Hong were left. Li Hong suppressed the excitement in his heart. This might be his only chance of victory in this three-sect party. Zhao Feng stood on the spot with his azure hair blowing in the wind. His eyes squinted and an evil aura radiated from him. Being stared at by him, Li Hong had an illusion that his mind and soul were in turmoil. Brother Li, admit defeat. You're not my match. Zhao Feng's azure hair blew in the wind and an invisible mental energy fluctuation shot into Li Hong's heart. Li Hong's body froze. In the next instant, he felt as if countless bolts of lightning were descending from the sky, and the ground beneath his feet was collapsing. He had fallen into an endless hell. After returning to the sect, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the lightning profundity had reached a whole new level. What was inconceivable was that he had fused the profound meaning of lightning into the Tao of illusions, which had produced unimaginable power. Not good. The moment Li Hong's mind fell into a gap, he felt a strong gust of wind. Bang! Zhao Feng sent him flying with a kick. Hua! The disciples of the three sects were in an uproar. What was going on? So it's the secret spirit art. This kid actually knows how to study unorthodox methods. Although it's an unorthodox path, it's hard to defend against it. The second-ranked ancient shrine is an example. The elders of the three sects exchanged glances. At this moment, Li Hong sat on the ground in a daze. Thanks for letting me win. Zhao Feng looked indifferent. The expressions of those from the Silver Moon clan were extremely ugly. They didn't think that Zhao Feng, who had the lowest cultivation in the Broken Moon clan, would be so strong. Li Hong was actually defeated without the slightest bit of resistance. Spirit secret art, Ao Yuetian fell into deep thought. He suddenly thought of Lin Tong, who was ranked second among the 4 stars. Of the 4 stars, Lin Tong was the most mysterious. He came from the ancient shrine and he had used his rare bloodline to train in the clan's heavenly absent eye. When Lin Tong truly used the heavenly absent eye, he only needed one glance to shatter the opponent's mind and cause them to lose. Some geniuses that had been defeated by Lin Tong would even become insane. Some would even leave a shadow in the depths of their hearts. Even Ao Yuetian, who dared to challenge Zhang Yuyue, didn't dare to challenge Lin Tong. This was because the latter was too weird and his attacks were hard to defend against. The current Zhao Feng also cultivated mental energy. Of course, Ao Yuetian wouldn't put Zhao Feng in his eyes. The latter's mental energy was like child's play in his eyes. The 4 stars of the alliance stood at the top of the pyramid of geniuses. They were knowledgeable and looked down on everyone else. Who else wants to spar with this Zhao? Zhao Feng smiled faintly as his gaze landed on Meng Yun. Meng Yun's body froze, but he wasn't afraid and he stood up to fight. His cultivation was strong and his mind was firm. As long as he was on guard, he wouldn't be afraid of Zhao Feng. As long as he wasn't afraid of the other's mental energy, winning would be easy. Brother Zhao, I admit that I've underestimated you, but don't even think about using the same method against me. Meng Yun snickered coldly. Hee, is that so? I don't believe it. Zhao Feng laughed lightly as his azure hair blew without any wind and the wicked aura around him became stronger. Meng Yun's face was full of wariness as he leapt towards Zhao Feng, leaving behind a string of afterimages. With his cultivation at the peak fifth sky, Meng Yun's battle power couldn't be underestimated. Bam! Zhao Feng roared and an invisible mental energy sound wave struck Meng Yun like lightning. Although Meng Yun's speed was fast, it couldn't be faster than his thoughts and mental energy attacks. Boom! Meng Yun's body swayed and his mind was shaken. The blood in his body churned and his organs shook. In an instant, his face turned pale and a trace of blood flowed down from the corner of his mouth. The disciples of the three sects were shocked. Even some of the elders were surprised. They didn't expect Zhao Feng's mental energy to be so powerful. Zhao Feng's mental energy made rapid progress in his cultivation. It was 10 times or even 100 times more efficient than cultivating internal force or body tempering. Li Fuwan was right. Mental energy was the most suitable inheritance for Zhao Feng. Moreover, Zhao Feng's mental energy had merged with the profundity of the lightning inheritance. Now, Zhao Feng had mastered the first floor of the lightning inheritance. How was that possible? Meng Yun wiped the blood off his face, but he didn't give up easily. He firmly believed that Zhao Feng wouldn't be a match for him in a head-on battle. Breaking moon wind riding style. Meng Yun waved the fan in his hand and a silver wind swept towards Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng didn't try to dodge, his lips curling into a cold smile. Lightning wind palm. He suddenly met it with a palm strike. The wind stirred and thunder roared. Arcs of lightning wreaked havoc in the wild wind like a spider web. Thunder boomed and the momentum was like a rainbow. The elders of the three sects were shocked when he made his move. The power of this palm has probably reached the 5th level of the lightning wind palm. It's equivalent to the peak of this cultivation technique. First elder exclaimed. In an instant, Meng Yun's breaking moon wind riding style was destroyed by the palm. At the same time, lightning and thunder intertwined around his body. In the next moment, he lost consciousness. Plop! Everyone saw Meng Yun bleeding from his 7 orifices and he fainted. Senior brother Meng. A few disciples of the Lin Moon sect immediately came to his rescue. Zhao Feng stood in the night wind and his azure hair blew in the wind. His one eye gave off a cold feeling that made people's hearts go cold. Some people even felt their hair stand on end. This brat was terrifying. The disciples of the three sects felt cold. No one would have thought that the scariest of the 3 core disciples of the Broken Moon clan wasn't Yanggan or Bei Moi, but the one with the lowest cultivation, Zhao Feng. Not only did Zhao Feng specialize in mental energy, his normal battle power was also terrifying. Sending Meng Yun flying with one palm meant that his aura was even stronger than Bei Moi's. Li Hong and Meng Fei wanted to find a pushover, but they stepped on a mine. Who else? Zhao Feng's eyes scanned across the crowd. The 3 core disciples of the Silver Moon clan didn't make a sound. Shen Guanyu most likely had no chance of winning. Mao Fei had just fought and was exhausted, so his chances of winning weren't high. If he lost to a brat at the 4th sky, it would be a huge loss of face for the Silver Moon clan. For the sake of fairness, everyone can only fight 2 rounds in a row. Ao Yuetian suddenly said. According to the rules, everyone could only fight 2 rounds in a row even if they won. Okay. Zhao Feng nodded his head and walked off the stage. As Zhao Feng walked off the stage, the 3 core disciples of the Broken Moon clan all showed their skills. The Broken Moon clan was destined to become famous in this 3-clan party. Zhao Feng, your lightning wind palm seems to have reached the 5th level and you're just 1 level away from the highest level. Hai Yun Master's eyes twinkled as if he was curious. Zhao Feng obviously knew what he meant. In the past, the geniuses that trained the lightning wind palm to the highest level all died. I might need 1 or 2 years to break through to the 6th level. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change. His lightning wind palm had reached the 7th level after being improved. The same 5th level had been perfected by Zhao Feng, and he had merged the laws of lightning into it, making it more than twice as strong as the original lightning wind palm. Hai Yun Master obviously didn't know about this, and he thought, this Zhao Feng seemed to be perfecting his lightning wind palm, and he didn't know if he could survive after reaching the 6th level. If Zhao Feng died to the lightning wind palm, then he wouldn't have to worry about him. The sparring session was still ongoing. After that, the Lin Moon clan and Silver Moon clan started sparring. Shang Guanyu challenged Zhao Yufei, who also had an inheritance. Zhao Yufei's cultivation had reached the peak 5th sky, and she had received an inheritance in the trial. After 20 moves, Zhao Yufei used a strategy similar to Bei Moi to defeat Shang Guanyu. What inheritance did she receive? Zhao Feng had observed carefully, but he didn't feel anything. Zhao Yufei's movement technique was as light as a fairy, just like his illusion fish movement technique, full of changes. In terms of attack, it wasn't lacking in elegance. In terms of defense, it was considered strong, or else she wouldn't have been able to block Shang Guanyu's fierce attacks. But all in all, Zhao Feng didn't see anything special about it. Zhao Yufei's victory was a simple one. She then challenged Bei Moi. Inheritance versus inheritance. Zhao Yufei's movement technique and attacks were still swift and graceful. They looked like floating clouds and flowing water, pleasing to the eye. Zhao Feng couldn't help but use his left eye to observe, and found that Zhao Yufei's true force was transparent and extremely pure. It was as if it had merged with her flesh and blood, and when she circulated it, it was as smooth as flowing water. Zhao Yufei and Bei Moi exchanged close to 100 moves, and they were evenly matched. Bei Moi was suppressed by Zhao Yufei most of the time, but because he specialized in defense, he didn't lose. After 100 moves, according to the rules, the two ended in a draw. Zhao Feng saw something fishy. Zhao Yufei's inheritance should belong to the support category, and he even felt that Zhao Yufei's bloodline wasn't simple. If not, how could her true force reach such a pure and flawless level? The most unbelievable part was that it had merged with her flesh and blood. Furthermore, after 100 moves, Bei Moi was slightly out of breath while Zhao Yufei was full of energy. And this was the result of 2 battles. Zhao Yufei was slightly regretful. She had originally wanted to challenge Zhao Feng or Yang Gan, but she had already fought 2 battles and could only wait for the next few rounds. Chapter 213. The sparring between Zhao Yufei and Bei Moi was obviously a spectacular performance that pushed the excitement of the 3-clan party to the peak. At this point, the 3-clan party had entered the final stage. Usually, this would be the final battle between the head disciples. However, Ao Yuetian slowly stood up and cupped his fists. This 3-clan party is more exciting than the past. If no one has any objections, then the sparring will end here. What? The expressions of the disciples changed dramatically. Ao Yuetian wanted to end the sparring. As the host, he didn't want to come out and spar. The head disciples of the Broken Moon clan and Lin Moon clan had ugly expressions. Does this Ao Yuetian look down on us? Yang Gan's eyebrows furrowed. Ao Yuetian, you're going too far. Even if you're one of the 4 stars, you can't humiliate the Silver Moon clan like this. Mao Fei's chest was filled with anger. Ao Yuetian's actions made the disciples of the 2 clans unhappy, and it was like slapping their head disciples in the face. Ao Yuetian. Of course we have objections. If you, the number 1 genius, don't come out, how can the 3-clan party be considered a success? Mao Fei slowly walked out and battle intent surged. The alliance banquet of the 13 clans is my battlefield. Your strength isn't enough. But if you really want to fight, then Yang Gan and Mao Fei, please come at me together. Only then will it be interesting. Ao Yuetian said arrogantly. Hearing this, the crowd started to curse. Ao Yuetian, don't be arrogant. Ao Yuetian, I think you're a coward and don't dare to fight. Facing the cursing, Ao Yuetian didn't get angry, I just don't want to waste time. Ao Yuetian, it's impossible for the two of us to fight together. If you have the time, then fight the two of us first. Yang Gan said deeply. Ao Yuetian's arrogance had offended all the disciples of the two clans. Fine. Under the pressure, Ao Yuetian could only fight. In reality, he had purposely created this situation, but Yang Gan didn't fall for it and didn't want to fight 2 against 1. Otherwise, he would be able to beat the head disciples of 2 clans by himself. More importantly, he could show off his prowess in front of the woman he loved. Thinking of this, he glanced at Zhao Yufei from the corner of his eye. He found that Zhao Yufei's attention was on the 3 from the Broken Moon clan. In the middle of the field, the 2 geniuses faced each other from a distance. Ao Yuetian stood tall and handsome with his hands behind his back. Although he didn't make a move, an invisible pressure spread out from him. Mao Fei took a deep breath. Only when he faced Ao Yuetian did he realize how terrifying the latter was. The pressure that Ao Yuetian gave him wasn't any weaker than the 7th Sky seniors in the clan. Mao Feng did not dare to delay, he quickly condensed all the true power in his body, releasing a layer of sharp silver light. Flying Cloud Mirage. In the night, Mao Fei left behind a few silver afterimages that surrounded Ao Yuetian in a triangular formation. In terms of speed, Mao Fei was the best in the 3-sect party. In a short instant, he spun around Ao Yuetian and countless silver lines enveloped Ao Yuetian like countless blades. Death of 1,000 cuts. Mao Fei combined his wondrous movement technique and completed this terrifying move. This move could be said to be deadly and in theory, it could turn a person into a 1,000-layer cake. Many spectators felt their hearts go cold as they watched Ao Yuetian being sliced apart by the silver lines. Ao Yuetian didn't even move and he still stood there with his hands behind his back. Moon God War Body. A layer of silver light appeared on Ao Yuetian's body and it was like the lines of skin and flesh. He's indeed learnt Moon God War. Moon God War Body is the signature skill of this skill. Not only the Lin Moon clan, even the other 2 clans exclaimed. Moon God War was a forbidden cultivation technique, similar to an inheritance, forming a system of its own. In this world, cultivation techniques were not necessarily stronger just because they were inherited. There were some peerless techniques that were all-encompassing and could dominate the world with just a single one. Moon God War Body. Countless silver lines slashed onto Ao Yuetian's body in the power that was enough to shatter normal low-grade god-grade weapons seemed to melt into water, causing a small ripple before disappearing. The moonlight membrane around Ao Yuetian's body seemed to be flowing and it was as beautiful as jade. It made him look extraordinarily handsome, like a god of the moon that had descended to the mortal world. What a mysterious skill. It contains the laws of moonlight and the soft defense similar to Baimua's dark water inheritance. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. With his left eye, he could see even more clearly. Furthermore, Zhao Feng saw something that other people didn't see. Ao Yuetian had a bloodline that wasn't normal, which was his bloodline power. This was the reason why he was able to learn the forbidden skill Moon God War. Mao Fei's powerful attack didn't injure Ao Yuetian at all. Lose. Ao Yuetian waved his hand and a bright silver beam of light shot out from his palm. It was bright and beautiful, but it contained extreme destructive power. Boom! Mao Fei was sent flying by the attack and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Everyone was stunned. He was too strong. It was as if Ao Yuetian had been possessed by the moon god. His offense and defense were both extremely high. A forbidden skill that uses the power of his bloodline. No wonder he's so arrogant. Zhao Feng's left eye had almost completely analyzed Ao Yuetian's power. Unfortunately, he couldn't use a skill that required the power of his bloodline even if he could comprehend it. He and Ao Yuetian both had bloodline powers, but they weren't the same type. Everyone looked over and saw that the person who spoke was the purple smoke goddess, Xiao Yufei. Oh. What objection does Yufei have? Ao Yuetian asked in confusion. Brother Ao, it's not right to end the sparring so quickly. At least, I haven't had enough fun and I haven't fought my opponent yet. Xiao Yufei was graceful and her beauty could shake the mortal world. Does Yufei also want to spar with Brother Ao? Ao Yuetian's heart moved and a smile appeared on his face. He wouldn't fight anyone else, but if it was this junior sister, he could make an exception. Xiao Yufei's talent, beauty, and temperament were all top-notch and she was his ideal partner. No, I want to challenge Brother Xiao Feng. Xiao Yufei calmly walked onto the stage. Challenge Xiao Feng. The disciples of the three clans were surprised and they all looked towards the one-eyed azure-haired youth. This youth was weird and powerful, but what was so special about him that made the beauty of the Lin Moon clan want to challenge him? Ao Yuetian's expression became solemn, but he didn't say anything. He only squinted his eyes and looked towards Xiao Feng. Why does Yufei have this thought? Xiao Feng walked out with a confused expression. Back in the Zhao clan or the Guanjuan palace, he had sparred with Xiao Yufei more than once. Brother Xiao Feng has always been mysterious and powerful in my heart, as if he's invincible. A year ago, I only had respect and admiration in my heart. Xiao Yufei faintly sighed. Her beautiful eyes flickered, and she did not conceal her desire to fight. Xiao Feng paused. He felt a strong battle intent that came from Xiao Yufei's pride and self-respect. Xiao Yufei's expression was complicated. A year ago, or even half a year ago, this youth had defeated her time and time again, causing her pride and confidence to crumble. She even started to admire and rely on him, but never had the confidence to win against him. Over the past half a year, I've improved by leaps and bounds. I thought that I'd become stronger from the bottom of my heart and that I'd be able to surpass all my opponents. But when I met Brother Xiao Feng, I realized that the helplessness and reliance in my heart were still there. As Xiao Yufei said this, a bitter expression appeared on her face, but the battle intent in her eyes grew stronger. Hearing this, Ao Tianyue and the others went into deep thought. So that's how it is. I'm the weakness in your heart. If you want to surpass yourself, you'll have to defeat me. Zhao Feng's words were simple, hitting the nail on the head. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.